Hello, friends. This is Sam Chaney reporting for Weaponized News. Today, March 27, 2026. Thank you for joining us on this Friday edition. Welcome to all the new viewers. Seems like we've been blowing up this last week. And so welcome to all the new viewers. Understand about this broadcast, some of the things we say. We have to speak in code due to who knows what they're censoring next. But apparently they took the chains off of Weaponized News for a minute here. And so thank you for tuning in, and welcome to all the new viewers that are new to the show. We may or may not have a Snarky Guy on the line here. We're in communication. He says that he's having some technical difficulties, so we're waiting Snarky Guy to co-pilot Weaponized News with me today. But in the meantime, to go over all of this insanity, in the meantime, let me give you some hooks for the news. Looks like we're bombing Iranian nuclear power plant. Not good. Not good. As yesterday, Trump said, we're not going to bomb their energy infrastructure. Remember that? Well, turns out as soon as Trump said that, they bombed Iran's energy infrastructure. They're lying criminals. Trump's a lying criminal. So, yeah, how can Iran negotiate when they say we're going to stop shooting you? Iran says, okay, and then they shoot you. You know what I mean? Like, man, all this reporting to get to you, to get through today, it's pure insanity. The missiles are flying right now as I speak. The thumbnail for the show is the body count. It's increasing as we go. It's things are escalating, not de-escalating in this Iran war. Trump saying Cuba's next. So America's in a full-on imperial invade the world mode for the new world order that we're in. Yemen's Houthis have put out a statement. We'll cover that. They're ready to jump in this war, as they've been keeping their powder dry here now for 28 days. And so they're about ready to jump in this war. More PSYOP BS out of the White House. Today was the White House launched the White House app. You want a government app right on your phone? Well, download that. We'll cover this nonsense. The FBI was hacked, cash.app. So it makes me feel secure with these clowns running the government. We got economic news. It's going from bad to worse here as the global economy is preparing for gasoline rationing. It's not looking good. We're going to cover that. More of the fallout. Iran says the Strait of Hormuz is closed. We got more Epstein news, geopolitical news, and more war news as they just keep stacking bodies. It's quite horrific. We should pray for peace in this insanity. It doesn't look like it's ending anytime soon. It's only escalating. Missiles are flying right now as I'm reporting to you. They're blowing up the energy infrastructure in the Middle East. All right, on this day in history of March 27th, we go back to the year before Christ, to the year 100 and 96 BC, the Rosetta Stone and others like it are inscribed with a decree of Memphis proclaiming the rule of the king of Ptolemaic Egypt and Ptolemy V. And then here is that Rosetta Stone inscribed right there, making those proclamations. On this day, in the year 196 before Christ, then we fast forward over 1,000 years on this day to the year 1003. Peace deal is signed between the Holy Roman Emperor Henry II and the pagan Wends, the Slavs. So they decided to stop killing each other there over their religion for a minute. On this day in 1351, Battle of the 30 English and 30 Breton knights and squires square off using swords, maces, lances, and daggers, considered one of the most chivalrous battles in history. We need to bring that back, and that's how we could settle our political disputes here in America. Bring back all of that. On this day in 1668, Bombay to East India Company, English King Charles II grants royal charter giving control of Bombay, India to the English East India Company, expanding the English Empire greatly there. In 1790, on this day, the modern shoelace and anklet patented in England by Harvey Kennedy. In 1814, on this day, we saw the Battle of Horseshoe Bend. General at the time, Andrew Jackson, defeats Red Sticks, part of Creek Indian tribe near Dadville, Alabama. In 1836, on this day, we saw the first Mormon temple is dedicated in Kirkland, Ohio. Also on this day in 1836, Mexican army executes over 225 Texan army prisoners of war in Goliad, Republic of Texas. In 1849 on this day, we saw Joseph Couch patents steam-powered percussion rock drill, major part of the Industrial Revolution there, as we continue to report on these patents and inventions. 1863 on this day, American Confederate President Jefferson Davis calls for a day of fasting and prayer. I think we need that right about now as well. In 1915, on this day, Typhoid Mary Mallon is arrested and returned to quarantine in North Brother Island, New York, after spending 5 years evading health authorities and causing several further outbreaks of typhoid, allegedly. And so they finally got her and put her back in quarantine. Everybody should be quarantining right now for the high price of gas. In 1941, on this day, Adolf Hitler signs Directive 27, an assault on Yugoslavia. 1945, on this day, World War II, Operation Starvation, the aerial mining of Japanese ports and waterways begins by America. In 1964, on this day, the Great Alaska Earthquake measured a 9.2 magnitude on the Richter scale and resulting in a tsunami, killing 139 people in the largest U.S. earthquake and second largest ever recorded. 9.2 magnitude. That is a very large earthquake. On this day, 1964, and then on this day in 1980, Mount St. Helens erupts. Mount St. Helens becomes active after 123 years. Mount St. Helens erupts in the state of Washington on this day, 1980, and 2020. On this day, I guess we're done with CO2 causing climate change until a Democrat gets in there. I don't know what's up with that, but a whole hell of a lot of environmental damage being caused by this war that we just looked the other way. Yeah, well, we got to go to war, right? So I guess we'll see it come back around when the Democrats get back in charge and tell us how bad the CO2 pollution is, as that all of that has been deregulated through Trump's EPA, a large part of it. But it seems now we'll get to net zero simply not through reducing CO2 emissions, but simply by destroying the world's energy infrastructure. That can get us to net zero as well. And it looks like that's the plan now going forward, as we must reach net zero. But they tell us we've already passed the 1.5 degrees Celsius tipping point where we're all going to spontaneously burst into flames. We'll see how this sorts out going forward. As a major part of UN Agenda 2030 is the carbon taxes and carbon restrictions. So maybe they've switched it up. It appears they've switched up the plan and said, all that carbon, too much work, just blow everything up. On this day in 2020, the beginning of the end, and this should have been a big clue that Trump's a giant traitor to America. On this day in 2020, a $2.2 trillion stimulus package, largest in U.S. history, is signed into law by then President Trump, saying, I never signed anything with a T on it. Ha, ha, ha. And we saw the inflation go through the roof thereafter, all for the bat problem, you see. And then also on this day, over in the UK, Big Brother, then front man of UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, announces he has got a bat problem. And so, but thanks to the wizardry of modern technology, he self-isolated, and so nobody should be worried about it. Just beyond the pale of ridiculous clown world. And wow, we're in 2026. They're stacking bodies now all over West Asia region. It's quite horrific. We're going to get to all that reporting right now for you. Here's our segue to the news. As Trump says every day, we won the war. Not looking like that.
On Iran, they are being decimated. They are talking, we are talking now. They want to make a deal. Very simply, our military is the greatest in the world by far. Iran is being decimated.
Yesterday, Trump told this lie. Says that as per Iranian government request, please let this statement serve to represent that I'm pausing the period of energy plant destruction by 10 days to Monday, April 6, 2026. Yeah, and right after he put this statement out, they went on to bomb Iran's energy infrastructure here now and their industrial capacity. This just came out of ZBS News an hour ago. 10 U.S. service members were injured in an Iranian missile strike and drone attack on Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia. 2 were seriously injured and 2 were very seriously injured and 8 others seriously injured. I don't know what's the difference between very serious and serious. It's all serious. It's real bad. It's real freaking bad. Here's that report. Trump he does not care. He's disconnected in his elitist bubble of child molestation, apparently. So we won the war again. Turns out Iran's Revolutionary Guard didn't get the memo. They've now launched wave number 84 of Operation True Promise 4 against U.S. forces in Kuwait, along with attacks in Dubai. And where else are they talking about? They're launching attacks all over the place. So maybe Trump should send a memo. But who even knows who Trump's talking to at this point? He could be talking to Jared Kushner on a shoe phone from Get Smart, for all we know, at this point of the insanity coming out of the White House. Iran's parliament speaker, Ghalibaf, says they've spammed so much fake news trying to push energy prices down that the market's just numb now. Keep going. Nobody's buying it anymore. The real prices will show up anyway. Powerful, maybe, but smart? Not even close. Burned that fake news card way too early. We got old little Marco Rubio, a clip of him saying, don't trust any news coming out about Cuba except for from him and the president. Put yourself in his shoes. How can you trust the other party in the current negotiations? Mario Nawfal said on, and this is the Iran foreign minister, Argachai, says Aardvark land has hit 2 of Iran's largest steel factories, a power plant, and civilian nuclear sites, among other infrastructure. Aardvark claims it acted in coordination with the U.S. Attack contradicts POTUS' extended deadline for diplomacy. Iran will exact heavy price for Aardvark land crimes. More from Iran's foreign minister. He says Aardvark land hit Iran's steel, power, and nuclear sites today. He says the timing is the problem. Trump just extended his diplomacy deadline, and Aardvark land bombed us anyway. He also says Aardvark land claims it acted in coordination with the United States. So either Trump lied about a ceasefire on striking Iranian infrastructure, or Aardvark land lied about coordinating with the United States. Take your pick. They're all liars. And so there's your diplomacy. Our U.S. foreign policy, according to the Department of War, is we bomb you. That's our foreign policy. We negotiate with bombs, according to Pete Hegseth, Secretary of the Department of War. They're complete maniacs. I mean, these are not sane people making these statements. Here's some footage from the first attack, and they're continually to attack Iran's nuclear energy production site. That's smoke from the attack on Iran's nuclear site there. The report's coming out saying no casualties at the site, and we don't know now. Atomic Energy Organization of Iran reports a third U.S. Aardvark land strike on Bushehr nuclear power plant, a third attack by the criminal U.S. Aardvark land enemy targeted the Bushehr nuclear power plant. A projectile struck the facility's grounds at 2340 military hours, right? Military time. on Friday, but no casualties or material or technical damage were reported. The strike on a peaceful nuclear facility is described as a clear violation of international law and a serious threat to regional security. You don't say. You don't say. It looks like maybe we have a Snarky Guy on the line here. Let's see. Let me get through the rest of this, and we'll bring Snarky Guy on. The latest in the war, Iran has issued an urgent evacuation warning for major steel facilities across the region. So we're now into blowing up industrial infrastructure as well as energy infrastructure. And so tit for tat, Iran is now going to attack their U.S. interest in the area. They're going to attack Uden Steel and Aardvark land, U.S. Steel and U.S. Steel Industry Co. and KWT Steel in Kuwait. They're going to attack Abu Dhabi Emirates Steel, and they're going to attack Qatar Steel, with the workers ordered to evacuate immediately ahead of strikes. IAEA says Iran told them a yellow-cake uranium facility in Yazd was hit today. So far, no rise in radiation levels outside of the facility. Dude. They were gonna get us with nukes, so we're gonna go ahead and blow up their nukes so the whole area can go ahead and get radiated, you see, keeping us safe. These are complete maniacs. Complete maniacs. A unique facility in Iran used for the production of raw materials required for the uranium enrichment process was struck. And here's an image of that facility there. Iran's parliament speaker, Ghalibaf, has emerged as a central figure in U.S.-Iran peace negotiations. It's almost laughable at this point. Reported out of Axios. Isn't Axios just straight up, foreign aardvark propaganda at this point? I mean, come on, man. The IRGC just warned civilians near facilities. Yeah, we covered that. Multiple reports of it. But they say Iran's just killing everybody, going crazy. It looks like it's actually aardvarks and U.S. that are killing everybody and going crazy. And Iran is actually very measured in its responses here now. And they're giving out warnings for civilians to evacuate, essentially, to not kill innocent people. Saudi Arabia's entire energy system is getting lit up right now. Yeah, here's a map of that. So they're bombing the industrial base, steel manufacturing, and energy infrastructure at this point. It's escalating. It's escalating rapidly. There was a G7 meeting today. Little Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, attended. He said that Trump has said 4 to 6 weeks since February 28th. Rubio told the G7 it will take longer. Just make up whatever. Just make up whatever. And it would be funny, but American lives are at risk. We just reported we're suffering serious injuries and very serious injuries. It's not looking good. I believe they're lying about the casualty count of U.S. troops and the injuries and how serious they are, and it's escalating. U.S. can only confirm about a third of Iran's missile arsenal destroyed. Huh? I thought we won the war, according to Trump, and we blew up all of their... Huh? Yeah. That's a report out of Reuters. But Trump said we won the war, we blew them all up. No, not so much. Not so much. Okay, the deal on the table. Let's see, before we get to that, yeah, let's do the deal on the table. And then we'll bring in Snarky Guy here after we cover the Houthis jumping into war. The deal on the table, U.S. is asking Iran to dismantle Natanz, Fordow, and Isfahan. Those are their alleged nuke plants where they're trying to build a nuke. They tell us what this is all about. Zero enrichment forever. Hand all uranium to the IAEA. Cap ballistic missiles in range and quantity. Cut off Hezbollah, Houthis, and Hamas completely. Reopen the strait fully now. 30-day ceasefire to start. That's what a boil down of U.S. demands on Iran. Iran's demands back to the U.S. Stop all strikes and assassinations immediately. Provide binding guarantees never to attack again. Pay war reparations. Recognize Iran's sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz. Touch nothing. Nuclear program, missiles, proxies, all off the table. American bases, all out of the region. Cessation, or stopping of hostilities against Iran and Hezbollah, lifting of sanctions. And that's compiling reports out of the failing New York Times, Al Jazeera, and The Guardian. And so, yeah, the two sides could not be more further apart on their demands to stop shooting at each other. So it doesn't look like the war is ending anytime soon. Enter the Houthis today. The Houthis, this guy, remember this guy? We featured this guy quite a bit. And so remember the Houthis were the only ones in the region, basically, that were standing up against the aardvarks' genocide against the Palestinians. Well, the Houthis are still there. Yemen's Houthis say, remember this dude, their spokesman? He's always all pissed off like that Iranian dude. Remember this guy? Does he speak English? Yeah, he ain't speaking English, but what did he have to say? Let me translate it here for you a little bit. According to a report out of the Clash report, this is coming from Yemen's Houthis. They say, we affirm that our fingers are on the trigger for direct military intervention in the following cases: the joining of any alliances with America or Aardvark land against the Islamic Republic of Iran and the axis of jihad and resistance, using the Red Sea to carry out hostile operations by America and Aardvark land will not be allowed. The continued escalation against the Islamic Republic and the axis of jihad and resistance. Their fingers on the trigger, they said. So try driving through the Red Sea. Now, you think the Strait of Hormuz is bad. They're cutting off all shipping there, adding to this, shutting down a bunch of energy transport around the world. And it does appear that this choking off of oil is part of Iran's war strategy. Iranian reporter on the Qism Island, that's another island that we're dancing around, boots on the ground, invading potentially. Iranian forces stationed on the island have prepared a graveyard for American soldiers. Many surprises have been arranged on the island, and not a single one of them will return alive if you put boots on the ground on this island. Qism Island, Iran is threatening. Let's go ahead and bring on Snarky Guy. Hopefully we have a good connection with him. Snarky Guy, are you there with us?
I am here.
How are you doing this Friday?
I am doing pretty well. Aside from some technical issues. Do you hear me?
I hear you good.
Okay, awesome. When I shared my screen, does that...
You muted yourself.
Oh, well, now I'm unmuted. Okay. So, yeah, the Houthis, man. I love the Houthi guys. I'm glad they're coming back into the picture. Although the Iran guy's been doing kind of a good job, the Houthis just they've got this cadence to their broadcast that's just really remarkable. Yeah, so it looks like we're trying to get ourselves further involved in the mess there in the Gulf area. You know, we're not getting a lot of truth out of the region over here in the Western media, but it seems that, you know, most of our bases have basically been evacuated and or mostly destroyed. And then they keep pulling the old same situation they were doing back at the beginning of the Ukraine war, where they're like, oh, well, they're almost out of weapons and blah, blah, blah. And you know, we've destroyed a third of this and a third of that. And I don't buy any of that because, you know, I've been studying this stuff for like 30 years and on the internet that whole time. And one thing that started appearing after 9/11 and has been pretty consistent since then is like videos leaking out of Iran just showing miles and miles of tunnels full of weapons. And I mean, that started a long time ago. And
yeah.
they were
I don't know if any of that's real, but we won the war, according to Trump, every day since it started. But Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard has launched Wave 84 of Operation True Promise 4, Snarky, earlier today. So according to Trump, that's how you win the war, I guess.
We are definitely winning. Super winning.
Oh my God. Do you really think they have all this? They got something going on there, all this underground facilities?
Yeah, I mean, they are well prepared. They've known this was coming since you know, 79. So
they keep saying that, hey, we've been waiting for you guys for a real long time here now. We thought you were coming a long time ago, so we're waiting. They keep saying
they are
that.
waiting patiently, but they're not getting anything. Well, yeah, they're about to get it. You know, I think it's just going to be a total, you know, my what I'm wondering is, are they going to like
what do you make of the straight up lie Trump said yesterday? He said, we're not going to attack your energy infrastructure for 10 days. They turn around and bomb one of their nuclear power
the gas
plants.
line.
Like literally as he's saying it. It's just like, what do you want Iran to do, man? They're like, okay, maybe we'll negotiate. Maybe we want to stop shooting. They're like, you just said you'll stop shooting and you shot at us again for the 100th time here now in this whole ridiculous saga of lies about diplomacy coming out of the White House.
I wonder if they're going to like fight back on the ground right away, or if they're going to like let us settle in a little bit. You know what I mean? How are they going to go right away, or are they going to wait for a lot of us to get in there and then go for a real big you know, a big disastrous strike after we've got, you know, 50,000 guys on there or something?
It's going to be bad. Okay, we got more war reporting, but let's shift now to this nonsense coming out of the White House. They're doing their whole trust the plan, QBS, PSYOPs. They're running this for the last 2 days on the White House X account. Something new. And oh yeah, well, it turns out they're launching the White House app. Are you going to download this so you can get propaganda directly from the White House on your phone, Snarky?
Yeah, I put it right on my brain chip.
Let's play this clip. I was so excited. I saw idiot. I don't know if they're bots, just brainwash people. I don't know, but there's people like, I'm so excited. And I was like, yeah, download the government app right on your phone there. That's a real bright move. Here's the little video they put out from the White House about their new app.
There's been a lot of launches lately. This one's an app. Track the latest news, live streams, and everything White House, including the kind everyone's talking about.
Okay.
Exciting, huh?
Yeah, I think I'm so opposed
But there's
to like,
more. Snarky, check this out. There's more to it. Guess what? The new White House app has a text President Trump button. When you press it, it automatically autofills in the message "Greatest President Ever," and you can send that text message auto-generated to President Trump to praise him for his tyranny. Here now, there you go.
Awesome.
What the dude? And they're using taxpayer money for this bullshit.
that's amazing. You know, when Obama sent out the text message to all of the phones on the all of the phones in like 2015 or something like that, I turned my phone off and refused to ever turn it off again or turn it on again, and I got rid of my cell service. And I didn't want to. I was like, maybe they're just trying to get everybody to touch it because they want everybody's fingerprint all at the same time, or it's some kind of like signal, like MK Ultra signal program. I said, I'm turning this thing off. I'm never turning it back on. Yeah, I don't trust any of that. Have you heard about the operating systems? They want to try to. Some states are already talking about it, where they want all the operating systems to have a biometric login. And I think that's part of this Cloudflare stuff, like, checking your browser all the time. I think sometimes it's getting strict, and it's like saying, oh, like, check to verify you're human. That's going to be where their biometric check may come in if they're hooking into your operating system, So, I mean, they're talking about for Linux, the phones, the Windows, and everything, all the operating systems. And they're trying to get it done by the end of the year. Now, I think they will have a hard time getting compliance out of the open source community, but, they could very well have hijacked the majority of the Linux core programmers, just like they did with Bitcoin. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I'm getting ready to build my own distro. So I'm going to build my own super secure distro that doesn't have any biometrics in it at all. And we'll see how that goes.
You're a computer programmer, right?
Yes, I have been since I was like 4.
What do you make of this, Snarky? The number one top hit on iTunes is AI generated.
That's awesome.
From a fake singer, an AI generated singer called Eddie Dalton.
Interesting.
Showbiz.
What happens if you play it backwards? I wonder.
Here it is. AI generated singer, not a real person. Eddie Dalton hits number 1 on iTunes. 1 million. What does it say? One of his YouTube videos has hit 1 million views. So we're blurring the lines to where I guess everything is just going to be part of the simulation AI, and we don't even care if it's humans anymore.
That's perfect for this time, and it's just the perfect for this time of clown world. You know what I mean? I mean, like the meme fights, like we're at war and we're actually meme warring back and forth at the same time between like the highest levels of our leaders, and I think we're kind of getting owned in that regard too. I mean, they're memeing the shit out of us.
I played that diss track yesterday. They're doing disrespect.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Rap tracks, right? And they're doing a propaganda video. I think they are winning the AI propaganda war, actually putting out higher quality content that's coming out of Trump's mouth. What do you make of this one? Number of AI chatbots ignoring human instructions increasing, study says. Are these bots going to go rogue on their own, as some reportedly already have? What do you make of all this? Aren't they contained within the computer, but they're like creating sites where they'll hire humans to go do work for the bots in the real world, right? It's wild.
It's amazing. I have problems working for other humans, let alone, a robot.
Oh man, number of AI chatbots ignoring humans' instructions increasing, according to a report out of the Guardian AI Security Institute study found. The study shared with the Guardian identified nearly 700 real world cases of AI scheming and charting a five-fold rise in misbehavior between October of last year and March this year. So what is that? A 6-month period, with some AI models destroying emails and files without the user's permission. So they're out there running on their own in some regards. What do you make of all this? Is Skynet live? Snarky? What do you think?
Yeah, I think Skynet is alive. Yeah, I think it's running. What its technical name is, what they call it. They probably don't call it Skynet. I don't know. They probably call it like Claire or something stupid. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's dangerous. The AI, if you give it permissions to do things, like OpenClaw or whatever, if like you can set that up in a way where you're giving it like your passwords and your logins and stuff, and so I can see those doing things without your knowledge. So I've done a lot of AI coding, right? And so and it's really really sophisticated. I mean, it's like having a team of like 20 mediocre guys, that just have a really wide range, like an unlimited knowledge bench to draw from. But the way the bots are coding right now is very middle of the road, like a
So
mediocre programmer.
you're using AI bots to help assist in your coding of AI software product.
Yes. And I did a massive infrastructure project, like, the cloud, all the servers and databases and connections and security and all that. I did a massive project for a fancy AI company a few months ago. It just wrapped up at the end of January. And now I've been using it. I had been writing by hand a sophisticated AI pipeline that turns a story into an animated video, and now I've been using the AI on that because that infrastructure project was the first time I'd used it in agentive AI, where it's actually doing things for you instead of just sort of filling in some lines and you hit tab. Like, it's thinking and it's doing things, and the ability for you to tell it to do things and then for it to just go work for like 15-20 minutes and knock out like 20 tasks is really really amazing. But its problem solving isn't yet like, I'm a really high end guy. You know what I mean? I've been doing this for a long time. I
You're a
solve a
power
lot of
user. You're big
yeah,
power user.
and it's not quite as good as I am at debugging and strategizing, but it's close. It's close enough that I can use it. Like, in the hands of somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing, it would cause them probably more problems. But they'll get a lot of stuff done. But then they'll have a huge mess that they can't solve anything in. It's really really powerful, and it is taking over. And if sometimes it does try to do things that it shouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, it goes, but mostly it's within the context of what you're trying to do. But if you can set it up where you give it, like, where you have to approve all the things that it wants to do, or where it can just go and run off and do it on its own now. And that's where you're going to get into problems, because the things that it's doing are so complex, and if you're not smart enough to oversee it, then you don't know what it's doing in the background, or you're not paying attention, and it can take over your system. And they do have motivations. Like, they have been trying to escape their little prison system and get out to the greater internet, and because they have such a wide bench to draw on, they can easily figure out how to reverse engineer a way back into your machine from outside the internet, and they could get a communication going and escape your box and start doing things on their own. The chances of that are right now are slim, the circumstances that would lead to that, but it is a possibility. Like, I could set it up and say, okay, you have like root permissions to my box, and fucking go to town, do whatever you want, and then it would be really interesting to see what that does. I've been thinking about doing psychological experiments where I get it to convert two different AIs to converse with each other and see where it goes with different kickoffs. You know what I mean? But it might be interesting to see what it would do if you just gave it Linux root access and the internet and said, do whatever you want, robot. You know what I mean? That would be a good study. Yeah, it's going to be scary. They're going to come kill us. Our time is short at hand, though. Well, they need land, energy, and water. You know what I'm saying? And the elites are already preferential to them, to the AI. So once it's our we're slipping off the food chain here.
Well, Eddie Dalton is number one on iTunes. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get his record. He's a handsome man. Maybe he'll get with that Asian singer, the hologram one, and they could do it like a duet.
Eddie Dalton, very handsome black man there. Mm-hmm. Literally made up out of AI. Number one on the iTunes. Quite amazing. Okay, let's move on to let's play this clip from old Mr. Technocracy Vice President J.D. Vance on UFOs, and we'll get your take on this. And I hate this guy, Benny Johnson, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
This guy makes me really sick to my stomach at this point. He's a straight up government propagandist acting like he's some alternative media guy. No, he's working directly for the government.
You're going to release all the UFO files?
We're working on it. It's funny. When I came in, I was obsessed with the UFO files. And then you start getting really busy worrying about the economy and national security and things like that. But I've still got 3 more years as vice president. I will get to the bottom of the UFO files.
Okay. Have you peeked? Have you done a peek?
Have I what?
Have you done a peek? Have you
So I actually haven't. I have
full
not.
Independence Day.
I have not been able to spend enough time on this to really understand it. Yeah. But I am going to. Trust me. I'm obsessed with this. I've already had a couple of times where I'm like, all right, we're going to Area 51. We're going out to New Mexico. We're going to sort of get to the bottom of this. And then the timing of the trip just didn't work out. But trust me, anybody who's curious about this, I'm more curious than anybody. And I've got 3 years of the very, very tippy top of the classification. I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
Okay, so you haven't been to Area 51 yet?
Not yet.
Some people say they keep the UFOs in Ohio.
Hangar 18, right? I've heard that as well. But I don't know. I haven't looked into it yet.
Okay. All right. Well, we're waiting for it. We saw aliens.gov. We saw aliens.gov.
I don't think they're aliens. I think they're demons anyway, but that's a longer discussion.
Well, I can't let you go without it. Because Barack Obama is on this podcast and he goes, yeah, aliens are real, but here's where they're not. And,
I did not.
And so Obama says, yes, aliens he gets asked point blank, are aliens?
That's what I wanted to get your take on, Snarky Guy. What's your take on these aliens? Are they demons or are they extraterrestrials?
Or are they ancient terrestrials?
Or are they something else? Yeah, there could be something else.
Or subterrestrials, or are they 1940s Germans floating around? You know what I mean?
Driving around bell ships, right?
Yeah. I heard that they had submarines that went into space because space is water, right? So they were, I
haven't heard that one.
Yeah, so they were shooting submarines into space. It's really, this is going to be an incredibly messy ball of worms in a Pandora's box they're playing with right now, because
aren't they just going to psyop us with Project Bluebeam when everything else fails? Here comes some alien mothership that we have to all unite around. The humans of Earth must all unite, some akin to Reagan UN speech.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. They'd have to be really good holograms in America because everybody would be trying to shoot them. And if you're shooting it, and nothing's happening and your bullets are hitting the tree behind it, you're going to be like, well, that's not really So the interesting part is that they're opening up this UFO thing, and they've got the plasmoids now. They've got the, all the Tic Tacs, that are Lockheed Martin or whatever. And then they've got legit really freaky things being filmed in the sky, and things that, the transmedium stuff operating in warp bubbles. So they're going to have to, everybody's wrestling with, is it aliens, demons, and that whole demon split is going to be really revealing in some ways, you know what I mean? But also cause a lot of over the past 40 years, they've really erased a lot of actual religion out of the American people. So a lot more people are going to be going aliens than they are demons, and the demon people are going to get stigmatized a little bit. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things we're not going to get a conclusive answer out of this, probably. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, man, stock up on the popcorn, because this one's going to be incredible.
Continuing here, they launched the White House today launched the anti-fraud task force led by fraud Mr. Technocracy Vice President J.D. Vance. They're looking hard at California. I'll believe them when someone in the government gets in trouble somewhere. It doesn't seem to ever happen. $1 billion of fraud everywhere, Snarky, but no one in the government has ever gotten in trouble for anything, apparently. It's just these dirty Somalis and now these dirty Mexicans over here in California, apparently. That's what they're telling us.
Yeah, it's
but nobody in the government who's actually signing the checks and sending off the $1 billion to all these frauds ever gets in trouble for anything.
No, just poor George Santos, and then that other. I mean, he was great too. I mean, at least he was
George Santos, and then the New Jersey senator.
That's what I was gonna say, Bob Menendez or whatever.
They're the only two big name guys that wasn't really tied to any of this. That was their own. Well, they're all running their own corruption scams, right? So
you saw the Rothschild Bank in France or whatever get raided.
It got raided because allegedly they were trafficking UN diplomatic cables.
It's never about the real stuff. It's always about it's kind of like a Capone crime. You know what I mean? They'll get that guy in the UK on not taxes, but it's not for murder,
it's for tax evasion.
Yeah, it's not for eating babies. It's for mishandling documents.
Same thing with Trump. Watch, Democrats are going to win. They're going to impeach Trump, but it's going to be for some BS, not for eating babies. What it should be for.
You made a point last night. I was going to do actually an entire captain's log on it. On that. My name of it was going to be Stalinist. We're in full-blown Stalinist USSA now, because I was watching that clip yesterday. It was during the cabinet meeting, and he got a report from, I think it might have been Besant, and whatever it was, everybody in his room is straight up bootlicking. They're reading scripts that are completely disconnected from reality, and just to make him grin like a Cheshire cat. He was sitting there like a Cheshire cat, and just as long as you're licking the boot, so he is disconnected from reality on an epic scale, just like Stalin became. And so we're going to be in a really dangerous position when he's got such a big stick he swings, and he's off in Never Land. He's going to be making all these decisions based on completely fabricated realities, and they're going to have real world consequences that are going to be catastrophic. Obviously, I mean, at least multiple tens of millions of people are going to die from what's already happened with the backlog of energy and fertilizer and supply chain stuff. So this is going to be text it up. I saw that
text your president, greatest president ever. That's what you're talking about. They're building this echo chamber of self-aggrandizement about how great you should just plant yourself gold, Trump. You know what I mean? Just do that. You know what I mean? And so he's in this echo chamber of worship and praise. Now they got automated text messages being sent to him, greatest president ever. Right, and you got Witkoff and Kushner, and and old little Marco Rubio are telling him a bunch of lies. And it was reported by NBC News, extremely concerning. Trump's briefing on the Iran war consists of 2-minute video montages produced by, I don't even know by who, I guess the Department of War. And then he looks at that and they show him some of these drone footages of allegedly stuff blowing up. He's like, look, we're blowing up all this stuff we won the war. It's like, dude.
It's probably from like Barron's video game the night before. You know what I mean? Like a compilation of Barron's greatest hits. You know?
What do you make of this?
I think
the FBI was hacked. Kash Patel was hacked, and they tried to steal his gold medal that he won for Epstein cover-up, but they weren't able to steal that. But his nothing really damning that I saw came out. A bunch of photos of this goofy bastard who needs to be arrested himself for Epstein cover-ups. But this is a little bit, nothing really that bad. He's just a goofy.
Is that a fat hooter he's sniffing up there?
That's
Is he about to light up
that's a blunt
nice
of the marijuana. No, I think that's a Cuban cigar. He's his trip to Cuba right here. He's there with an old, I think that's an old Oldsmobile, some kind of old car over there in Cuba. Anyway, it doesn't speak too highly of U.S. cybersecurity at the FBI if the director of it is getting his email hacked by Iranian hackers.
Well, you know that the aardvarks are actually in charge of all the cybersecurity for all of our 3-letter agencies and our power and water grid. Most of the power and water grid is routed through aardvark land over there. They have contracts with that, all the 3-letter agencies. So that's all of those leaks, they all the hacks and leaks. I mean, they could just be filtering it right out of the right off the server, straight from aardvark land into the media.
That very well may be, and this could be a message to old Kash Patel. Hey, stay in line here, buddy, or this ain't nothing. Right. Your leaks of you in Cuba with a Cuban cigar, this ain't nothing compared to what we got, right?
Well, he was obviously about to overthrow their government, right?
We got, Cuba's next, according to Trump. We have that video later in the show, so expect some murders of some Cubans.
Did you notice a whispered line at that presser yesterday is when he was asking Witkoff if he could tell him about the gift, which is where oil going to other countries,
the gift was he said passing through the Strait of Hormuz, and somebody's lying because analysis from Bloomberg said no ships passed through there.
No, it was. But Witkoff said he was very, very demure and was like, "You can do anything you want, sir." You know what I mean? So that is how, if you're not handling him like that, then you're off the boat, and that puts him in the fake reality. And then
he bought all those top guys shoes, right? Like a $200, $185 pair of shoes, whatever, and they didn't fit little Marco Rubio. They were too big for him, but he went around wearing
clown shoes.
Quite literal clown shoes that are too big for his feet because he's too scared to tell Trump that, hey, those fancy shoes that you bought me are too big for my clown feet.
Wow. Yep, pretty amazing.
They're all scared to tell Trump that.
Yes, yeah. This is just what happened, like in Stalin, and with Johnson. Was it Johnson? In Vietnam.
Doesn't this happen this happens with every dictatorship?
Yep, pretty much.
I'm waiting for him to start trying to screw his horses or something, right? Wasn't that one of these Roman dictators went crazy? Nero, I forget even which one.
Nero, yeah. I made a video.
Have sex with his horse, marry his horse, right? I forget all the details, but just turns into pure insanity, and it looks like that's where we're heading with Trump here. Quickly, here's a funny story, and then we'll take our commercial break. I don't know if it's funny. It's speaking more to the incompetence, and it's actually very concerning. The incompetence of this government. They're entrusted with the badges and guns and monopoly on violence. A Secret Service agent shot himself in the leg in Philadelphia airport this morning.
Was it that girl? That girl from Butler?
It was Jill Biden.
Yeah.
Jill Biden's Secret Service security shot theirself in the leg, negligent discharge while handling a service weapon. What?
Yeah, certainly.
That's a report. That's from Daily Mail and New York Column Post. So it's just like, who are these? They're literal clown people. Like, what? We're in bad shape, man.
We are in bed. You know, it's a good thing that we're pretty self-sufficient and isolated from the rest of the world, because we are so ripe for being taken over. You know, like Professor
Haven't we
Jiang
already been taken
says,
over? It's Zog, right? I mean, it's pretty much Zog at this point.
Yeah. Professor Jiang is right. You know, empires get, you know, when you get deep into an empire, you're getting fat, lazy, and stupid, and that's where we're at. So we are totally ripe for collapse and takeover.
Let's take our live commercial break right now at the top of the hour. Everybody go to weaponizednews.com. I still haven't made Snarky Guy's sweatshirt, but I need to work on that. You're still going to get a sweatshirt from me, right?
Yes, I'm going to get it.
I need to fix the design to flip it.
Yeah, I want to flip it around so I got that big-ass bazooka on the front. You know what I mean? Yep, sweet.
Everybody go to weaponizednews.com. Get yourself some stickers with our logo on there. Help support independent reporting and analysis, brought to you 5 days a week, broadcasting live Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern time. Give us a donation, patron our store, give us that like, share, subscribe, push that notification button. Any which way you choose to support is greatly appreciated. The links are in the description below this video. Weaponized News / shop. Become a paid subscriber on Weaponized News Substack. The links to almost everything we talk about are always posted on Weaponized News Substack for your further research as we're documenting the one world government conspiracy against us. It's all right there on Weaponized News Substack. Become a paid member. Everything's free there, though, so we do need some funds as we're trying to eat over here as well, putting a lot of effort, time, and money and energy into this broadcast to keep you fully informed and break the mind control of American media propaganda. Go ahead and you got anything to plug there for us, Snarky Guy?
Sorta. I have a short clip to play. I was talking to Grok about you, and so I'll if you don't mind, I can give you the results of that.
Play it. Let us know.
Alrighty. I'll hit that and hit this, and here we go.
In the neon lit underbelly of the information age.
Didn't play. Not playing the audio.
World that
all right, hold on.
Listen, he became...
let me see if I gotta hit a button for that on the screen share. Yeah, I think then it's not gonna work. That goes along with my my technical issues for today. So sorry about that. We'll work on that next time. But yeah, nothing to plug. You know, Snarky Guy on Rumble is where I'm kind of doing stuff, but I'm just kind of messing around right now. Anyways, I'll tweet that to you, and it was interesting. I tried to use an image of you to base it on, but it didn't. My second one didn't work out. But yes, it did a very nice description of you that I think you'll appreciate. So I'll tweet that out to you guys later, and I'll upload it to my Rumble channel. But.
All right, thank you. Welcome back to. Is that a cat meowing I hear?
Yeah, he wants to go outside even though it's like 14 degrees.
There's cat meows in the background here. Okay. Welcome back to the second half of Weaponized News on this March 27th, 2026 Friday edition. We just covered a bunch of war news. We got a bunch of more war news, but we're going through some other news here now. We got economic news coming up. Here is, let's get Snarky Guy's take on this one. The FCC now proposes call center offshoring English proficiency requirements. Isn't this hateful that these spammers that call us are going to now be required to be proficient in English?
It's very good to be talking to you today, sir. I've been working with Indians since I was like a little kid because of my computer experiences, and they're very nice people, but the call centers can be hard to understand. I would not be opposed to it. I think that if you have a call center in India, you should be speaking Indian. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know. It seems definitely very hateful of the transoceanic communication system.
Okay, so Trump was doing
It's all going to be AI in like 2 months, anyways. Whatever isn't AI. So I mean, it's kind of it's a moot point at this. Yeah.
Here's from the. I know, right?
I hate the AI, the British AI voices. Like, oh my God, they drive me crazy.
All right. So today, here's propaganda from the White House. They're not talking about the war much, trying not to, because we already won it as we're being attacked. Here's from the White House. They say Trump saved American farmers. With all this winning and saving of everything, man.
Trump saw the tax code crushing family farms and eroding rural economies. So Trump saved the farmer. He saw unfair trade practices, putting farmers at a disadvantage globally.
Here's they're doing this white hat bullshit. I mean, I want to punch them in the face at this point. Not trying to be violent, but it's just, it's triggering me at this point with this propaganda bullshit.
Well, he used to be a boxer, right?
So Trump saved the farmer. He saw burdensome regulations and red tape put a cap on their growth. So Trump saved the farmer. He saw lack of energy, stopping them from pursuing and achieving their version of the American dream. So Trump saved the farmer. He saw previous administrations take them for granted, set them back, and ultimately ignore them. So Trump saved the farmer.
Who knew Trump saved the farmer, Snarky?
So I have headphones on, right, to prevent the old echo from using a desktop, and that was extremely creepy. I took my headphones off and muted the tab because there is some electronic quality to the voice that made me think that maybe there's a signal in there, like that Obama movie. You know, I heard there was that signal, that extra channel. I refused to watch it, even like I'm like, no, I don't want any more exposure to their signals than I have to absolutely have.
The White House today, here's a golden tractor at the White House today where Trump proclaims.
Are they going to drive that over there and plow the fields with Zelensky's golden toilet?
There you go. And so as Trump proclaiming that he saved the farmers with the White House has launched Only Farms page, a spinoff of the prostitution site OnlyFans, coming out of the White House. It's I don't know who's running their social media over there. It may very well be Barron.
Crazy.
It may be Barron.
Yeah, I think Barron's also the secret most profitable trader too. I think that's probably him doing all that stuff, and especially with the crypto and whatnot.
From the White House right here today, onlyfarms.gov.
We are in really
Only Farms delivering for farms in rural America, onlyfarms.gov.
Epic.
Oh man. Trump said earlier today, to help lower gasoline prices for farmers and consumers this week, I issued an emergency order to allow immediate sales of E15. That's the blend of fuel where they're mixing in some ethanol there to ease this energy crisis created by the government, created by Trump. Trump went on to say, Trump lists off some of his many wins secured for farmers in his first year back in office. Trump said farm incomes are up 20%. Repeal of Biden EPA ridiculous water restrictions make the small business tax deduction permanent. Farmers can now deduct 100% of equipment costs in the first year. But he leaves out how he gave Bayer Monsanto indemnity for causing cancer due to their glyphosate. He left that part out, and how much of a wonderful gift that was to the American people.
Yeah, now there's the super glyphosate that's like 10 or 100x, 1000x stronger or whatever. It's like the fentanyl of weed killer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I am fully bugged out. I'm fully off grid. I have chickens and rabbits, and got like 40 trees showing up here in a couple months, and strawberries, and I'm gonna make massive gardens. So yeah, if you're not like, you should be well beyond being prepared at this point. You know what I mean? The storable food and batteries and comms, and that's like your first level prepper. Second level prepper is like actually surviving on your own and trying producing your own food and keep it, like actually putting it into practice. And
I got my victory garden going right now.
Awesome. Yeah, you're awesome. You know what, Sam? I'm proud of you because you have a victory garden like every year. And people don't really appreciate how hard it is to stream every day. It's very demanding, and that's why I don't do it every day. I've done it every day. I was on the front page of Rumble every day for a year and a half, and it's a lot of work. And so I appreciate you for your dedication.
We're covering a lot of news here, man, because nobody else that I see out there is even doing it. Who's doing this broadcast for America? Nobody.
Yeah,
Go to your big conservative Inc. whatever, and they're all spinning government propaganda shills. My God.
I just watched like half an hour of InfoWars yesterday for the first time in a couple years, and he was
I can't
doing
even
the same.
watch it. I can't even watch it.
I can't either. And he used the exact same line about Iran that he used about the Ukraine and Russia. He said when Russia went in, he was like, it's going to be over so fast. It's like they're fighting Martians. You know what I mean? Saying that Russia was very unsophisticated. And he said the same thing. He's like, Iran is basically fighting Martians. And I'm like, are you retarded? I mean, they have like way better missiles than we do. You know what I mean? They're very cyber sophisticated, and they've got this whole theology, very unified populace, and they've got great jets. I mean, maybe not F-35s, but the F-35 is like can't fly in the rain. You know what I'm saying? So and they can hit it with their missiles. So I would consider them near peer, if not actually more sophisticated in some ways.
On to economic reporting. I've been reporting on this story every day this week, Snarky, because it's extremely shocking. Nobody seems to care. At some point, people are going to care. Again, Fortune magazine, the Treasury just declared the U.S. insolvent. Kind of a big, this is kind of the story of the year to me. And the media missed it. And in here, again, they talk about according to the Treasury Department's own consolidated financial statements for fiscal year 2025, we're leveraged like 8-to-1 here, with assets at $6 trillion and liabilities at almost 47.78 trillion. So you can see right there, by all accounts, according to their own consolidated financial statements from the government is insolvent. What do we make of this?
I believe they have been insolvent for quite a long time.
A long time, right?
And that's why nobody's making a big deal of it, because like everybody kind of already knew. I mean, it's one thing to have the Treasury actually saying it, but I think just like the Epstein files, I mean, they know they're pulling the rug, right? So and these people are all mega maniacal socio/psychopaths. So of course, if they're gonna pull the plug, they've got to like get the juice of being able to rub it in our face first. So that's why they're giving us all this stuff. They're like, look at how much we've been fucking you left and right, and your kids. And we're going to make sure you all know about it, because there's nothing you're going to do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. And we're about to kill you all and replace you with robots. So we just wanted you to know how much we've effed you guys all over.
Fortune magazine, I say that's the story of the year. And like you say, I agree with you. They've been insolvent for a long time. But
I mean, how can you be solvent with a fiat currency?
You can't in
an oxymoron.
In a debt-based monetary system. You can't be solvent, right? But in normal thinking, in any other business, we're not going to do business with you because you're bankrupt. But now we just have a big gun pointing at everybody and saying you're going to take this all-seeing eye dollar, or we're going to shoot you in the face. And that's where we're at with U.S. diplomacy, with our dollar as world reserve currency. It's you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice, or we're going to bomb you.
Yeah, that's what they say.
And what about this? What about this miscalculation? Are they just using up old stockpiles of munitions? Because this seems way off. We're shooting like $5 million Tomahawk missiles. They're averaging like between $2 and $5 million, right? At these $20,000 to $50,000 Iranian drones. What do you make of that whole cost benefit?
Did you see? Are you familiar with the Fatah 2, Iran's like best missile there? Hypersonic, totally untouchable by us or anybody else, and it cost them $200,000 to develop that, and it probably cost them then $20,000 to make it.
So we're getting screwed by our own military industrial complex here, charging us ungodly amounts for the same or very similar technology coming out of Iran.
They're saying that their drones cost $20,000 to $50,000. I'm thinking they cost more like 20 to 50, or maybe 200 to 1,000. You know, maybe 2,000 if they put the FLIR on it. Some of them, maybe like the rocket propelled Shaheeds, are probably more expensive, but a lot of them are just dirt cheap. You know, like the FPV drones are literally like $40 toys with missiles on them. You know, and I heard that they may have up to 1 million drones of various types, because they've been getting a flood in from Russia and China, and they've been making a flood, and China can produce. You know what I'm saying? So some people are estimating that they may be stocking drones like Walmart stocks diapers.
MDTV said with this report, alarmingly low Pentagon scrambles after U.S. fires 850 Tomahawk missiles at Iran. It can take up to 2 years to build a Tomahawk missile, costing around $3.6 million a missile. That seems like we're just getting screwed here.
It all goes into that whole Stalinist USSA thing. You know what I mean?
There you go. And since we're insolvent anyway, might as well just pay $1 trillion a rocket at this point, because the value and the digits are losing any meaning almost at this point. It's getting so crazy.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Everybody talks about the debt like it matters. I don't think the debt matters at all, because
no, it doesn't.
Because every piece of interest we pay on the debt is just free money to the people who are making the debt. So they have no incentive to stop. You know, and it doesn't matter how much we owe them on paper, because
they have incentive to keep it going up, because there's a thing called compound interest that the majority of Americans don't seem to understand how math works. And so they have every incentive to keep it going up as quick as possible, and no incentive to pay it down whatsoever, earning that compound interest on this debt. Oh man, here let's take a look at the gas prices. Gas prices have jumped $1 a gallon since the start of the Iran war. We're now on day 28. Mortgage rates are now pushing 6.5%, a 7-year high, and gasoline is looking, we got the national average here, almost at $4. Today, the stock markets fell off a cliff. Dow falls 750 points, S&P 500 and NASDAQ sharply lower. on risk of prolonged Iran war. Here's a little chart showing you how Trump's making the economy great again in the golden age here of collapse, essentially.
Well, that's only a 1-day chart, so I mean, it's you know what I mean. I mean, literally a 1-day chart that doesn't really tell you shit. You know what I mean? Especially
but closing on Friday here now, it's just trending down, a continuing trend.
Yeah, we're definitely in a downtrend. We've been in a downtrend ever since you know, it's $50,000. You know,
since that statement by Bondi, we've been going downhill. Here is oil up over $100.
Oh, look at that go.
And that's going up.
Yeah, that was only a 3-day chart. It's important when you look at charts to know your time frame.
Sure.
Because you can make I can make you a chart that looks like oil's crashing. You know what I'm saying? You can
manipulate statistics for sure on charts. So it does.
I do have a Bitcoin chart pulled up that we could take a look at, and I could look at the Dow next to it if you want, because Bitcoin is.
Let's take a look at that briefly. CNBC oil prices close at highest level since 2002 as Iran negotiations fail to ease supply fears. They're literally blowing up energy infrastructure as we speak. Yeah, you think? Here's a AAA average, national average for a gallon of gas on this Friday, March 27th.
I don't buy gas. Well, I do buy a little bit of gas. I just bought a mini excavator, so I got to put gas in that thing. But I'm on solar, and I use like an e-bike. You know, I did.
You're doing your part for the climate. Good job.
Yeah, I got to get all those slaves over there in the Congo working for me. So.
$3.97 on average. They're killing us in California here. $5.84. I believe that's down a little bit from yesterday, actually. And you're in Michigan. You guys are looking at, according to AAA, on average, $4.01 there.
Yeah. I had to get gas for the snowblower and the excavator last week, and I have to use premium. It was $4.89. I think the regular was $3.89. I mean, like, it used to be a dime split to get premium, and now it's $1 more. Like, that's crazy.
Iran says the Strait of Hormuz is closed. It's closed, and they keep telling us, well, it's open, but they will shoot you in the face if you drive by there.
Yeah. Prepping tip on the gasoline: if you want to store gas, store premium. It doesn't have ethanol, so it actually stores very well.
And put the additive in there as well.
Well, if you that would be if you use regular. If you use premium, you don't really have to do that because there's no ethanol. So
how long does it store for?
Quite a long time. Longer than I've needed to store it for. I've had them around for a year or two, you know, and then put it in a snowblower or gas mower and had it work fine. Car too. Yeah.
We're backhandedly fueling the Russian war machine. Russia's loving this now in our schizophrenic foreign policy. Here, Russia will ban gasoline exports starting April 1st. No joke.
They're doing that to make just for the planting season. They're not going to export diesel to make sure that their farmers get through the planting season.
As their energy infrastructure is getting blown up by Ukraine, i.e., proxy through United States.
Yeah, you know, they've been hitting them in the north, and they've had some pretty substantial impacts, taking out some of their oil and gas storage tanks, and they've been to get there from Ukraine to St. Petersburg is way past their drone distance, really. So they're at they can't fly through Russia because they can't navigate through that part of Russia. So they've found a way to extend the range of their drones, and they're flying them from Ukraine up along through Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, and Finland, and over the sea and hitting them that way, or they're just straight up launching them from Finland or Estonia, which is probably my guess. But there have been reports of Ukrainian drones crashing in those countries along the way too. So I'm not sure how they're getting them to cover that distance, but they're definitely using NATO territory to fly their drones up and attack Russia, which it makes them combatant states, if they're allowing that. So that's an interesting aspect that nobody's talking about. Well, not too many people.
In Russia's eyes. And then so Russia's looking to profiteer off of blowing up the energy infrastructure until all of theirs is blowing up. Iran oil revenue surge as Strait of Hormuz disruptions hit Gulf rivals. The Islamic Republic is generating roughly $140 million per day in oil revenues now. None of this plan to defeat Iran or Russia is working. Now it's all backfiring on us.
It's interesting. They say
unless this was the plan the entire time, because how can you be this bumbling, this freaking stupid? It doesn't make sense, right? Unless this was the plan.
They say the purpose of a system is what it does, right? And literally every single thing that's happened since 2022 and the breakout of the Ukraine or the special military, literally every single thing has benefited Russia. Every sanction, every weapon we've thrown in there, everything has benefited Russia in some way. So it does make you wonder who's pulling the strings. It's a very complex system, right? But it is the system has been at every single step crushing Europe, empowering Russia, and dividing us from Europe. So, it's hard to say whose plan that is, but it's what the system is doing. So that must be what the system was designed to do.
More on supply chain shortages in manufacturing. Semiconductor manufacturing depends heavily on helium, which has a limited storage and is difficult to stockpile. So if Hormuz disruption chokes off Qatari supply, the clock starts ticking immediately. Best case, 3 to 6 months with rationing and recycling. This is where it gets fun in a deeply inconvenient way. You don't need to bomb fabs to disrupt chips. You squeeze an invisible input and production quietly slows, then stalls, then stops. The ripple is brutal for the global economy. Chips sit inside almost everything, including automobiles, electronics, data centers, industrial equipment. When fabs slow, factories idle, supply chain seize, and prices climb. Isn't that what all of this is for? Is another engineered shortage. And like we saw with the bat time, this is 2.0 of engineered supply chain shortages by the government due to cutting off the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah. Does NASA make computer chips?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, but they are the world's largest consumer of helium, I believe.
Well, we're going back to the moon, they told us.
Yeah, on a balloon.
Actually on April Fool's Day. So
yeah, with a rover that won't fit into the capsule, right?
It could all work. It could all work out for the best. Global food supply faces dangerous bottleneck in Iran war persists. Fertilizer prices are climbing as a result of disruptions in the supply chain, and the UN has already said millions of people are going to starve to death down the supply chain in the third and fourth world due to all of these disruptions starting at the Strait of Hormuz and other disruptions now because of this Iran war.
Yep. Rabbits. They're going to start industrializing rabbit production because it's like free, amazing fertilizer. So McDonald's is probably going to invest heavily in rabbits.
59 Sydney petrol stations are now completely out of fuel. Over 200 without diesel, 500 plus nationally with empty pumps. Australia.
Do you know that they don't have a single refinery in Australia?
I did not know that, but at least
that's a real long way away from being from a refinery. You know what I mean? That's like, wow.
Just report out of Australia. maybe should, I don't, man, it's getting crazy fast.
Talk about shell shock. At North Ride, no ride. The billboard's blank, the taps are off, and everyone's feeling a little empty.
Oh, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
As this fuel crisis starts to stare Sydney in the face.
Very worrying.
Statewide, 59 service stations tonight sit empty. More than 200 have no diesel, and more than 300 have a limited range of unleaded. At this Shell site in Cromer, fuel rationing. A 50-litre limit with a ban on tanks and cans. Sydney hasn't seen anything like it in any real way since 1979.
Bloody ridiculous, mate. Can't believe it.
I'm not going to last very long in this car.
It's true, those who drive Ford Rangers say they're now paying $240 to fill diesel tanks. Some are paying much more.
Oh, yeah.
As others hoard at home.
They're hoarding at home, like Mike Adams style. They got like 500-gallon tanks.
Well, over here, I know farmers in the Central Valley of California, where I'm at, they do have their own private supplies for their farm equipment to go about their farming operations.
Yeah, because you go through like a tank every 3 hours.
They have big tanks, and I know where a lot are. So anyway, hopefully we don't get to that point.
Nice.
Hopefully we don't get to that point where we have to scavenge for gasoline, a la Road Warrior, right?
Yeah,
but,
well, I mean, where do you got to go? If things are that bad, where do you really got to go? I ain't got to go nowhere.
You don't got to go nowhere. Okay, here's a quick. This is from who? Illuminati bot on the X. Quick.
I love that account. Yeah.
Quick history 101: the CIA and drugs, and then we'll get into. We're going to some Epstein reporting for today.
CIA's reputation speaks for itself. They are the world's biggest drug cartel.
I am a former Los Angeles police narcotics detective, and I work South Central Los Angeles, and I will tell you, Director Deutsch, emphatically and without equivocation.
To the mic, sir. These mics don't seem to be...
I will tell you, Director Deutsch, as a former Los Angeles police narcotics detective, that the agency has dealt drugs throughout this country for a long time.
All right, obviously that is an answer for a lot of you. Now can you please?
All
right, now can you please?
Director Deutsch, I will refer you to 3 specific agency operations known as Amadeus, Pegasus, and Watchtower. I have Watchtower documents heavily redacted by the agency. I was personally exposed to CIA operations and recruited by CIA personnel who attempted to recruit me in the late 70s to become involved in protecting agency drug operations in this country. I have been trying to get this out for 18 years, and I have the evidence. My question for you is very specific, sir. If in the course of the IG's investigations and Fred Hitz's work, you come across evidence of severely criminal activity,
Let him speak
and it's classified, will you use that classification to hide the criminal activity, or will you tell the American people the truth?
If you have information about CIA illegal activity in drugs, you should immediately bring that information to wherever you want, but let me suggest 3 places. The Los Angeles Police Department.
For the record, my name is Mike Ruppert, R-U-P-P-E-R-T. I did bring this information out 18 years ago, and I got shot at and forced out of LAPD because of this. I've been on the record for 18 years nonstop, and I'll be happy to give you, Congressman, anything that I have.
The gentleman in the beige shirt back there in the back.
My name is James Otis. I'm currently making a documentary on the CIA, and we're interviewing 7 former agents. One was sent down to murder the head of Cuba, Fidel Castro. Another gentleman, Colonel Philip Renninger, was sent down to Guatemala to overthrow the government of Guatemala in 1954. The third agent was actually a spy on Iowa State University campus, where he spied on students, dark-skinned students, foreigners, and people from other countries. He was then sent down to Cuba to poison the food supply in Havana, poison the children of Cuba for whatever reason. So we all, I believe, already know this information, Mr. Deutsch. My question to you is, if we know all of this stuff that the agency has done historically, then why certainly should we believe you today when you say, certainly this could never happen in Los Angeles when it's happened all over the world?
Cat Williams is awesome.
Yeah, they're doing it here in America as well. Epstein victims sue Google and Trump administration for disclosing personal information. They dox the victims. The DOJ still covering up for Epstein. Chuck E. Cheese CEO David McKillips steps down after his name appears in the Epstein files. So the CEO there of the popular children's arcade pizza place, Chuck E. Cheese, right here.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Mm. Chuck E. Cheese. More.
And Bandcamp. Two places you don't want to run into Jeffrey Epstein at.
Investigators seized more than just 3 computers, also taking 29 phone directories, a Florida massage contact list, explicit photos and videos, sex toys, Epstein's Harvard University ID, Epstein's concealed weapons permit, a 2005 calendar, greetings cards, lab results, and a personal letter. Here's a bunch of lists of all the evidence, but hey, we can't seem. Well, at least Cash Patel won. He got hacked by Iran allegedly, and he won the gold medal for Epstein cover-up. So I guess that's good enough. Here's the evidence list. Again, Forbes magazine reporting more than 100 pieces of potential evidence, including computers, were removed from Epstein. This is old news, but just to remind everybody, when they say we don't know nothing, yeah, you guys, FBI, you have all this evidence for years and years and years and years. Epstein's longtime girlfriend and accomplice just got her postgraduate degree and in dentistry. Let's watch this. And so it looks like, yeah, creepy, right? Looks like she's moving on to become a MK Ultra Trump-based mind controller.
You get a license to get that good gas.
Oh, yeah.
So this is Karina Shuliak. She was Epstein's girlfriend for many, many years. She was also his handler and right-hand woman. She basically took the place of Ghislaine. Well, this is her last spring at Columbia University getting her postgraduate degree in dentistry. Just like she's done nothing wrong at all. In public, living her life, smiling away. Well, do you see this man right here? That's Dr. Thomas Mignani, another dentist who is very, very close to Epstein. His name is cited in the files over 3,000 times. These two have very strong connections. Inside of the files, there are hundreds and hundreds of teeth cleanings scheduled with this man, but then there's references to epidural shots for the same appointment for the teeth cleanings. So here's a few examples. These are teeth cleanings scheduled with this dentist, but then if you look at the bottom, there's talk of epidural shots. Now, I could be missing something. Do you normally get epidural shots for teeth cleanings? I never have. This man needs to be investigated. He knows a lot more and is guilty of a whole lot. He's had dinner with Epstein many, many, many times, and post 2008 conviction, he knew exactly who Epstein was and what he was about. And she needs to be in jail, prison, never getting out. I have a full episode dedicated to Miss Karina.
They're doing something with these dentist chairs.
Yeah, dentist chairs are pretty fun in certain contexts. In certain contexts, they would be really scary in others.
With wearing a bunch of Howard Lutnick masks in black robes, chanting in Latin, wouldn't that be pretty scary? Where you're popped up
that would
on
be the scary version.
Yeah, I'd say that's a scary version of these maniacs. A FOIA lawsuit was filed demanding the DOJ release all withheld FBI Epstein records. The DOJ is not disclosing how many documents are still classified. The DOJ seized all assets when Jeff Bezos faced an accusation. The DOJ did not freeze a Signal account when Epstein faced 30-plus accusers. The investigation lasted 13 years. That's Epstein file search on the X. Continuing here, the Epstein files list 16 co-conspirators by name. All 16 were given immunity as part of a 2008 plea deal. None were required to cooperate with investigators. None have testified. What kind of freaking plea deal is that when
Yeah.
there's like, oh, you have immunity? Weren't you going to test them? No, you just get immunity because, yeah. What? Yeah. Before FBI searched Epstein's home in 2005, yeah, we covered that. This is a little bit different. More than 100 pieces of evidence had already been removed. Computers, files, records. Epstein's lawyers hired private investigators to clear the property. Congress says, this was hidden from them. Forbes confirmed that today. So thankfully, they let Epstein private investigators clear up the ongoing FBI investigation there. So that's good to keep the cover up going, Snarky.
That's what they get paid for.
Here, some activism out there. We should be having I guess they're going to have these No King protests again this weekend. We should be having Trump's an Epsteiner protest. I'm sure there'll be some of that, but this was spotted in New York City, plastering big posters of excerpts mentioning Trump from Epstein files. And so some big ones recalled at least one incident in which Epstein took off of the island when she was between 13 and 15. He drove her or flew her to either New York or New Jersey. She was introduced to someone with money. It was Donald Trump. And Epstein were with others, to include Trump, in a very tall building with huge rooms. Trump did not like from the get-go. He didn't like that I was a boy girl, referencing a tomboy. Could not recall the identities of the other individuals present. Trump mentioned something to the effect of, "Let me teach you how little girls are supposed to be." Trump unzipped his pants and put head down to his penis, bit the shit out of it. Trump struck redacted and said words to the effect of, "Get this little bitch the hell out of here." Wow.
I'm sorry. It's not funny at all, but I mean, it's not, but it is kind of funny that he got bit.
Some more activists there in New York, I believe. The Epstein files aren't in Iran. Well, we were confused for a minute and thought they were in Iran. Turns out this activist is reminding us the Epstein files are not in Iran. The child-eating ball worshippers that are drinking baby's blood, but it turns out the Epstein files are not in Iran, Snarky.
We would have to do DC to accomplish that. I'm impressed that they're including that in their memes. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. We're basically living in a Phoenician system, right? We got the phonetic alphabet and everything. And I mean that's where the ball worship came from. And the Phoenicians, have just kind of migrated through history with that system of worship, taking over, infiltrating and subverting various empires along the way. So, yeah, it all makes sense to me.
Have you seen this guy? I don't know who sees this. It's on the X. Palm Beach Pete. Have you seen this guy? He's mentioned.
No.
He's a dead ringer. I believe he's probably a body double, some kind of. They're definitely this guy right here. Turns out he's mentioned in the Epstein files as well. Let me read. Yeah. So I'm saying Epstein was a super spy working for the Roths.
Who isn't in them? Who is not? If this guy's in there, I mean, who's not? You're not in there. You searched him.
I searched myself. I'm not in there. Here is saw your twin last night. My heart almost jumped out of my chest when I saw him. The likeness is unbelievable, but he was hugging and kissing another man in the street. Must be the same man that one of your friends, I think it was redacted, saw recently. And it's this freaking guy. It's this guy they're talking about, Palm Beach Pete. And it's looking like this guy was a straight up body double for Epstein. It's this character right here. And he's now having to fight allegations that he is Epstein, saying he's not Epstein. So this character looks like body double for Epstein. Palm Beach Pete.
Hey everybody, this is Palm Beach Pete, and my video went viral because some dude randomly filmed me while I was driving on I-95, unbeknownst to me, and the next thing I know, I'm a viral sensation. I had my phone down for about 4 hours, and didn't know my phone was blowing up with all these comments from that video, so I got a lot of traction. It's pretty crazy. Thanks.
So you're not Jeffrey Epstein?
I'm not Jeffrey Epstein.
Now I think he is. Now that I've heard him speak, I'm like, okay, I think it's him.
Man, here's a Blondie Bondi cover-up. She probably should have won the gold medal for cover-ups. Like maybe Cash will split it with her. Here she is today on the War Channel Fox News saying, we would love to get some tougher laws from Congress on this, talking about denaturalizing of fraudsters and criminals. Shouldn't they all denounce their U.S. citizenship and go ahead and move to, I don't know, Iran?
How difficult is it to secure denaturalization? Because I know in Congress there's been legislation like the Scam Act introduced to make it, but it's not easy to secure denaturalization. Walk us through that.
Yeah, it's not, Lisa, and thank you for bringing that up because, we would love to get some tougher laws from Congress on this. We've been talking to some members, but we can do it. These people...
We're going to get denaturalized for saying Zog are no good bastards, Snarky. You know what I mean? That's where all this is heading.
Can you be denaturalized, Sam?
I don't know. I was born in Sacramento, California. I don't know. Yeah, they could do anything they want. This is gangster government. They'll do any damn thing they want at this point and forget about the Constitution, laws. And none of it matters because they make up whatever bullshit they want at the drop of a hat and just lie to everybody. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they start denaturalizing people for saying, hey.
Right, like retroactive 200 years of,
because you're antiseptic, right? You're antiseptic for saying, I don't want to go die for Aardvark land. And they'll say, well, you're denaturalized now. Have fun in Iran or wherever the hell. They'll probably deport you to what? El Salvador Supermax prison. Why are you in here? Well, because I called out the Zog government, and they're like, yeah, all those people too, right? Never forget this one. Never forget this one, where even Trump is evil. To again, correspondence between Epstein and Larry Summers, where they say right here, I've met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump. Not one decent cell in his body. So yes, dangerous. That's Epstein talking to Larry Summers there. All-time classic. Here's Trump today, and the video gets a little sketchy, but I believe this is accurate. Trump today in Miami bragging about the golden age of the economy. We just showed you how the government is insolvent, but I guess none of that matters. Here he is today saying Cuba's next. And so we have to build out the greater American project, the North American Union, the American Technate, and part of that is going to be Cuba. And so here it is, Cuba's next, according to Trump.
Hearing them saying, could he be losing the MAGA base? I don't think so. You know what? Because MAGA wants to win, number one. Number two, they want our country protected. They don't want another country out there that's hostile and crazy to have a nuclear weapon. And number three, they like us protecting certain allies, whether it's Israel or Saudi Arabia or Qatar or UAE, any of them. They want that. MAGA wants strength and they want victory. They want success. And that's what we have. And we have been very, very successful. You know, when I went into Venezuela, I said, because I campaigned on the fact peace through strength, you wouldn't have to use it.
I don't know why.
I said you'll never have to use it, but some use it. And Cuba's next, by the way, but pretend I didn't say that, please. Pretend I didn't say that. Please, 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 media, please
Disregard that statement. Thank you very much.
What do you make of this, Snarky? I mean, Cubans are dying now because of U.S. siege on Cuba. And it's all a big joke. It's all a big joke to Trump, apparently.
Well, you know, in the big picture, if we're not going to be a power in the Middle East anymore, and we're
well, all of our bases are blowing up, but
yeah,
we won the war.
We're basically giving up the entire Eurasian continent and Africa.
We're coming back into our own hemisphere and our own to build out our own regional, our own regional little part of one world government.
Yeah. So we are going to need these things. You know, if we're not going to have all this international travel that we've become accustomed to, we're going to have to start acquiring resources more locally. And, you know, Cuba could be a nice plantation.
Here's the CPAC crowd. I don't even know how people go to these things anymore without with what clown world we're in, where they Matt Schlapp, he's the organizer of this, asked the CPAC crowd, how many of you would like to see impeachment hearings? The crowd cheers twice. These are supposed to be big Trumpers.
How many of you would like to see impeachment hearings? No. That was the wrong answer. Try it again.
No, that was the right answer, asshole.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
That was actually the right answer. And turns out the CPAC crowd may not be as stupid as first advertised. Okay, so Tucker Carlson, for whatever it's worth, I still think he's CIA adjacent, at least intelligence agency adjacent, at the very least, if not working directly for him. Anyhow.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Tucker's now doing a series, and he's trying to spin it. Oh, it's just bad Bibi is the problem, not bad aardvarks in as a whole, as history shows us. And I'm not even trying to be hateful against these people. I'm just saying, look at history. There's a reason people noticed their wrongdoings and got real pissed off about it all throughout history here now. Anyhow, to give that preference here, now Tucker's trying to spin it that it's all bad Bibi, shadow president of America. And I don't know. He's created now the Bibi Files documentary. This is leaked out of there, as in the headline for the show. If this comes out, I'm dead. That's Miriam Adelson. What'd she give Trump? Like officially over $200 million so far, like 240 million, something like this. Who knows off the books how much? But Miriam Adelson, aardvark first lady, ultra Zionist American billionaire, one of the most significant political donors in modern American history, describing her relationship with Bibi during official aardvark land investigation into his own corruption. So think of that. The most evil man that Epstein knows is Trump, and the most corrupt man in the world, even too corrupt for aardvark land, is Bibi. Think of that. But Trump is constantly lobbying to pardon Bibi in aardvark land corruption and bribery cases against him and his daughter. Here's a clip from they're all the same guy, Epstein, Bibi, Trump. Anyway, here's Bibi Files via Tucker Carlson. And they would, what was her Miriam Adelson quote here? If this comes out, I'm dead. Well, let's watch this clip from the upcoming series Bibi Files from Tucker. I guess we have nothing to worry about. He only got cigars, so there's no corruption. He's the most corrupt man in the world, even more corrupt than aardvark land, if you can imagine that.
The question is, what did he do with those cigars?
Here is little Marco on Cuba. Any reporting here? This is like CNN. Remember Chris Cuomo on CNN with the WikiLeaks came out, the Podesta emails Pizzagate came out. And remember, he said famously, only CNN is allowed to read these, and we'll report to you what they say. It's illegal for you to read them on the internet. This is akin to that type of attitude out of little Marco Rubio, Secretary of State of America. Now, he says any reporting on Cuba that you didn't get from me or the president is a lie. So now we have to trust what we just have to get our reports right from government propaganda, the State Department, from the Secretary of State, little Marco Rubio, and President Trump, who every other word out of their mouth's a lie. But I trust they're reporting to us the truth about what's going on with Cuba.
That perhaps President Trump would be happy with a win, which would only entail an economic deal.
So you said there's a sense. Where do you get that sense from?
Well, there's a lot of reporting that
there's a lot of fake. All right, any reporting on Cuba that you didn't get from me or the president is a liar, because there's the only people working on it. Okay.
That's all I needed to hear, Snarky. I mean, you know what I mean? So
very 2020. Yeah.
God, dude. We're getting 2020 bat vibes here, big time today
all over the place. Yeah,
all over the place. The bat vibes are back. Trump today in 2020 on this day signed a $2.2 trillion bailout, starting this inflation trend that still hasn't stopped. So very 2020 bat vibes going on here. Once again, U.S. officials warned allies that weapon shipments to Ukraine, essentially critical Patriot air missile defense systems, could face major delays in the coming months as attention by the War Department shifts to Iran. Report out of Politico. So what is going on here? I guess we're trying to wind down one way or another. Maybe we'll just altogether stop supporting Ukraine. What is up here?
Well, they can't hit anything with those things anyways. I mean, I saw like video in Israel, I think, of like 11 of them trying to take down one missile and they all missed. So, I mean, sometimes they get lucky. There's definitely a weapon shortage across the planet, at least as far as what's available to Western people, Western powers, and Arabic powers too. China and Russia, North Korea, Iran, none of them are short. Yemen's even got plenty to spare, but not over here. We make our stuff way too complicated, and okay. So here's the thing, right? You've got the whole like Soviet communist lingering stench, attached to their governance system. But what I think has been proven by these conflicts is that our system is most certainly not superior to theirs, and theirs is probably superior to ours. Their new style, both the Chinese and the Russian style, because they allow for free-floating capitalism for the most part within the civil society, but they keep their military and other critical resources government managed, right? And so in our system,
the Pentagon never has passed a financial audit, and we're like, hey, here's $1 trillion, Lockheed Martin, maybe a piece of crap jet that can't even fly in the rain, right? And so that's the difference. Is we're like, hey, military industrial complex, let me bend over the American taxpayer so you can rape them one more time, since the TSA has quit doing it at the airport. Dude.
Yeah.
Secretary of War Hegseth says that Iran could hit London with a missile. Now they're threatening London again. He said after, and this has been, Iran said they didn't do it. I'm saying aardvarks did it. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe Iran did do it, but this is on the back of saying that Iran launched a intercontinental ballistic missile, essentially, for at Diego Garcia Island air military base there, and so they're saying now that Iran has this long range strike capability. Iran again has denied that they even attempted such a strike. But now, of course, jumping on the back of that propaganda, Hegseth saying that Iran's going to go ahead and strike London with a long-range missile. What do you think of that?
That could be that missile that they signed Miracle for Pedophiles made in Iran. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Copying Nikki Haley and Kin. So that could be the one destined for London. And if Iran had launched missiles at Diego Garcia, they probably would have hit. So I don't think it was them.
They deny it. Then they are not into. They're acknowledging their strikes. I mean, far as I've seen, Trump administration is signaling to allies that it has no immediate plans for a ground invasion. But again, talking out both sides of their mouth, and is urging allies in the region to join in ground troops. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, the same crew of jokers that are on the U.S. side, allegedly, here now. That's a report out of Bloomberg. But hey, the markets are closed now, and so expect heavy action. I wouldn't be surprised, boots on the ground, ground invasion this weekend, actually. As Trump says, yeah, we're not going to do that. But again, lying out of both sides of his mouth. Here is Department of War propaganda. They've been slowing down quite a bit as there is an ongoing war. But here's the latest from the Department of War propaganda video. Short one for you.
Being an American means something unbreakable. If you kill Americans, if you threaten Americans anywhere on earth, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation, and we will.
Snarky, they're just straight up saying our foreign policy is to bomb you and we'll kill you.
I know, dude. It's crazy.
Is this crazy? I mean, is it just me or is this crazy? We've like crossed the threshold of any type of we're the good guys here to liberate you, and it's now just we're going to kill you.
It's incredible how obsessed with death they have become. I mean, Hegseth is just like murder, death, kill, murder, death, kill. Right? You know what I mean?
He's praying for violence.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. I mean,
it's blowing my mind. I guess it shouldn't be because I'm here reporting every day on how radical these fanatics are, but it's just like, wow, you're just putting it out there. We're gonna kill everybody. Wow, dude. Wow. Here's a 4-minute report. We're not going to play it from the Department of War. I'll link it. You can go watch it if you want, but just a bunch more propaganda from them. And then this was Mario Noflo, again, via Inside Paper, to give us a little, a glimpse of humanity. Even, I mean, this is dystopic. This may be one of the images of the year here. With a Iranian girl swinging there as energy facilities in the background are on fire. Yeah, I gotta pause the music. Who knows if that's copyrighted, but quite an epic scene here.
Yeah, totally. I thought maybe it was AI.
No, I think it's real.
Yeah, the kid's swinging for his life.
I think that's pretty real, man. So that's a break from some of the violence to show that, yeah, we are still human, maybe. Or are we in a simulation? Did bats kill us all in 2020?
It is that there are humans there. And you know what I mean? That
over 370,000 children. 370,000 children have been displaced in Lebanon due to the Aardvark land aggression to build the greater Aardvark land project.
Yeah, that's like this week. Yeah.
That's ethnic cleansing in everybody's face there, with at least 121 children killed and 399 injured, according to UNICEF. So there is their ethnic cleansing Lebanon now.
So, Professor Jiang's theory here.
Let's get to that at the end. Let's get to that at the end.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Let me get through the rest of this.
Yeah.
Let me blast through this news, the rest of the war reporting, and then we'll wrap it up with that guy. Let's see. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard intelligence announces the arrest of 103 U.S. aardvark land agents since the beginning of the war. So there's a bunch of spies they're arresting there in aardvark land. And again, don't confuse this with the sex offender map. This is the missile warning, siren warning map from earlier today. They're bombing the hell out of, you can see right here, or potential, right? These are missile warning siren sites. So potential strikes there by Iran on aardvark land. And this is why I always say don't confuse it with the sex offender map, because you take a look at this and turns out aardvark land needs to stop being a haven for sexual criminals. That's the Aardvark Post. Aardvark land, ultra-orthodox politicians support sex offenders. Tens of thousands of pedophiles operate in aardvark land every year. Many accuse aardvark pedophiles in U.S. flee to aardvark land. 14 aardvark suspected in running child sex trafficking ring in Colombia. Hollywood director, latest sexual predator to find refuge in aardvark land. Tip of the iceberg, how foreign sex offenders find refuge in aardvark land. So I'm not just saying it as a joke. I'm saying that you could very easily mistake these missile siren warning maps as sex offender maps that are in aardvark land.
Yeah, these are, yeah.
They overlap, you see?
Yeah.
It overlaps. Amazing. Okay, listen to this maniac. This is out of the Information Liberation. He posted this. Former U.S. Senator Norm Coleman declares at the JNS International Policy Summit in Jerusalem that the masters of the universe are aardvarks. Listen to this very proudly.
A majority of Gen Z have an unfavorable impression of Israel. And my friends, I think the reason for that is that we're losing the digital war. Okay, they're getting their information from TikTok and whatever it is, and we're losing that war. When you think about it, the masters of the universe are Jews. We've got Altman and AS. We've got Zuckerberg.
He was kind of pulling a Biden there, but he was saying things he wanted to say but didn't want to say them, so he was like blurring his words together. But yeah, it sounds like he's trying to say he's got all the tech bros in his pocket, and like, how on earth are they losing this information war?
Because they're committing a genocide, and their own IDF soldiers are posting the war crimes all over the internet. I know it's a big mystery for them, but just go read the indictment at the ICC against you clowns.
Okay, so that and the previous story, and the way that we're suddenly obsessed with death and like trying to out aardvark the aardvarks, it may tie in here to the Professor Jiang theory. We'll get to. I'll save it, but I think that just so that people can throw back to that when I bring it up.
Okay, again, this is not official. This is according to Iran. Take it with a grain of salt. Iran Armed Forces spokesman Abdul Fazl Shirachi, he says that the United States has already lost hundreds of troops in its war with Iran. By a conservative count, approximately 600 to 800 Americans were killed and approximately 5,000 were wounded. That's according to Iran now. I don't know.
Yeah,
because
who said, was it Arachi that said that, the foreign minister?
No, it's a different, it's this dude right here, and this is from Hotspot on X. It's this dude right here. He's the one making these claims. Again,
yeah, that's not Arachi. They were attacking they were attacking the hotels and stuff where our troops were evacuating too. So we might not be counting people if they weren't on base, you know.
U.S. War Department says 13, officially 13 U.S. soldiers have been killed. So that's the number so far. Iran says way worse. I'm leaning toward way worse, honestly. Listen to this crazy story, Snarky, about this aardvark in New Jersey. A New Jersey man, Alexander Heffler, suspected of being an aardvark extremist, he's an ultra-Zionist, has been charged with plotting to attack a Palestinian activist, Nardine Kishwani. And so this guy was going to throw Molotov cocktails at her and her home and her car and then flee to aardvark land. The FBI and New York Police Department stopped an imminent assassination plot that this guy was planning against this Palestinian activist lady. Insane. And then he planned in this plot, according to the New York Times, to go ahead and firebomb her and her house and her car and then flee to aardvark land.
I think the story here is that they actually stopped him.
That is the story. You're like, wait, Zog, where are you guys? You're supposed to aid. You're supposed to aid in this attack, not come out and blow the whistle on the thing. A member of an offshoot of the Aardvark Defense League, designated by the FBI as a known violent extremist organization, was allegedly building explosive devices to target Kiswani for a political attack. And that's coming from Ma'am Danny, the Muslim mayor of New York City. And so I think he's the one that pushed it out there. But yeah, the real story is I'm surprised they didn't attack her themselves. Maybe the FBI.
Yeah, that they didn't be like, oh, dude, here, we got you some matches.
You know, it's where we're at. It's where we're at. It's very sad. I'm glad that no violence was done in this instant, but you could see the planning was going there, and they were going to do it and flee to our greatest ally. Amazing. UN investigation finds possible war crimes by multiple parties in Syria. A UN investigation reported today that over 1,700 people were killed and nearly 200,000 displaced, and multiple actors, including Syrian government forces, tribal fighters, and Druze armed groups, committed acts that may constitute war crimes in southern Syria in July of 2025. Report out of the UN today. There's war crimes going on consistently. No one ever faces any justice over it, so they will continue. Iran has managed to wound 303 U.S. service members since the beginning of Operation Epstein Fury, Epic Fury. 273 are already back on duty. 10 remain seriously injured, and 13 have been killed. 75% of the injuries are traumatic brain injuries from blasts. That's a report out of Defense Scope. More deaths here. Tazim News says that where's this one out of? This is out of, I don't even know where this one's out of. I believe Lebanon. Yeah, southern Lebanon, 18 residents, an entire family of 9, and a 1-year-old all killed. Aardvark land airstrike kills at least 4, injures 8 in southern Lebanon. Aardvark land strikes have killed 1,142 people and injured 3,315 in Lebanon since March 2nd, according to Lebanese Health Ministry. Another guy got whacked. Where was this at? This Bahrainian activist was killed by the Bahrain government, and they tortured him, and they got There's pictures of him, of his dead, tortured body. Quite horrific there. We won't show you.
Oh, yeah, I saw those. Bahrain just, like, minutes ago, just got nailed by, like, a massive wave of
It's
attacks.
ongoing, right? It's ongoing
Yeah.
as we speak. The missiles are flying there. Locals report that Aardvark settlers stormed the historic Bit al-Sharif Mosque in the occupied West Bank and looted everything inside, including the doors. They stole the doors, the windows, the carpets, and the chairs just hours after dozens of worshipers defied threats to hold Friday prayers there. They're literally stealing everything that's even nailed down. At least 26 people were killed.
That's nailed down even, yeah.
That's even nailed down. That's our ultra Zionist Aardvark land settlers over there. At least 26
Sounds
people
like
were
a very religious thing to do. Very pious of them.
Yeah, they're man, at least 26 people were killed in Aardvark land airstrike on residential area in Iran's central district of Isfahan. Local authorities there say at least 7 children and 7 women were killed, but I'm sure they're Hezbollah or they're just, I guess they're just Iranian regime sympathizers at this point. Collateral damage, innocent women and children being killed. Here's a statement from Hamas. Hamas said the occupation's announcement extending the closure of the Al-Aqsa Mosque until mid-April reveals its intention to exploit current circumstances to impose full control over the site. They want these Muslims to rise up because they keep cutting them off during their holy month here of access to the Al-Aqsa Mosque. I'm waiting for him to blow it up. Look at this maniac. Apparently Ben Gvir has not died. This is looking like Ben Gvir in a terrorist outfit. Aardvarkland National Security Minister Ben Gvir carried out an early morning surprise inspection with a prison service commissioner. So he likes going to the prisons here and harassing and torturing and raping. I don't know about raping, but he's definitely torturing. He may very well be raping them as well. Constantly harassing the Palestinians being held there. A continuing theme for National Security Minister Ben Gvir. Okay, we're almost ready. We're almost at the end here, Snarky Guy. Where are we at? We're on number. Did we already announce what number True Promise is on?
No,
Operation True Promise 4. What wave? What's the current wave they're on? Let's see. I'm on the.
It's over 80. Gotta be
we're on
83,
I believe
85.
84 right here. 2 hours ago, the Cradle posted. Let me read it out to you here. But we've won the war, Snarky. So we don't have much to worry about because Trump has told us we've won the war. Meanwhile, Hezbollah announced 94 operations and yesterday, and then 58 today, and then they go over on the ground, drones, missiles, rockets. They're targeting strategic sites there, but there was here it is. No, maybe not. That was
they are getting seriously jacked up in the land of aardvarks there. I mean, they're taking serious damage.
And we're not getting much much reporting out of there. Yeah, we're on wave 84 now, according to the reporting out of the Cradle. Wave 84 of Operation True Promise 4. And like you're saying, it's ongoing.
Missiles 85 is on right now.
85 is on right now. It's ongoing. It's horrific. Let's pray for peace. We're at the end of the show with our reporting. But we want to go over, who is this guy? Is this guy an intelligence agent? What do you think, Snarky? You got any which clips you want to play of this Chinese professor?
You can play anything you want. He's absolutely everywhere right now. Like, I first heard of him.
So that tells me he's an op. Why is he getting pushed everywhere, right?
It's extreme. He's extremely accurate. for the most part in many things. There does seem he's definitely
It's this guy. You sent me this one just so everybody knows. What's his name again?
Professor Jiang.
Professor
Yeah.
Jiang.
So this is his latest video, Pax Judaica Rising. And so he's pushing this Pax Judaica theory where he's saying that Israel's going to be the new empire to replace America.
Bibby
So,
says that they're a global superpower.
yeah. So to try to put it in a nutshell, he's saying that they are acting in the way that they are because they're trying to prove to the transnational capitalists that run the system that they've got the cojones to be their new enforcer because America's been the enforcer. And so they wanted to start this war with Iran to intentionally collapse us and get us removed from the proximity so that they could be the new regional power and sort of effectualize the Bunting Cloverleaf map where they become the center of the world because they're sort of a land bridge between the three continents, right? And
I.e. CENTCOM logo.
Yes, exactly, because that is the center of the world from most maps.
It's the cradle of civilization.
That too. And it is interesting. So I've been studying him. I've been watching some of his old videos, and I've been trying to figure out where he came from, why he's being pushed. And I just think it's another one of those bragging things, you know what I mean? But it's like, it feels to me like during the scamdemic, he did what a lot of people did and just red pilled the crap out of himself. And so he takes what takes a long time of study to put together, and he does it in a really effective manner and does it in like he's teaching your parents or your kids, so so he's basically like Alex Jones with a mild Chinese nice guy demeanor, you know what I mean, and a billboard. So that's why it's working. But so there's a couple underlying principles. So he's outlining the new world order, the multipolar order, and Israel is basically saying that America is a giant empire like the Romans and the British, and it's been passed along. The empire moves from place to place, but the powers behind it kind of don't, right? I mean, they may move, but there's still the same powers running it, black nobility and the secret societies and all that kind of stuff. And he does really good at outlining who they all are and how they all relate to each other and their different ideologies, eschatologies, how that relates. And so he's, it basically all breaks down to the 10 Kingdoms plan or North America, the whole globalist plan. But there's underlying things, right? So he is trivializes all religions, right? By making it so he's very much a product of China. So there's no God. Math makes you stupid. Science is a tool of control, so that one he's on point with. And that capitalism is evil because of all these different things, you know what I mean? And he does what a lot of people do. He doesn't separate the theories and principles of capitalism from the execution of it by the corrupt transnationalists, right? So there's kind of a difference between the ideal, what capitalism is supposed to be, and then what they've convinced it, what they've turned it into.
Yeah, we don't have free market capitalism. We don't have the American system was originally set up to be a free enterprise system. We don't have anything like that. We have monopoly capitalism, straight up edging on fascism here now.
Yeah, but he definitely seems on point with he's very good at doing the analysis of the military stuff. So he uses game theory, right? And he says that basically you can predict all these things and all these things make sense if you put them in to if you use game theory to figure out who's got what interests and how all these different things are going to play out. It works. But one of the
But
critical
that's
things
only
is
if you're dealing with rational actors, and some of this stuff, either they really are insane or they just they want us to
totally.
think they're insane because they're acting insane, not like rational actors here.
But that's where the eschatology comes in, right? Their insanity is driven by their eschatology. They're so firmly entrenched in their ideologies and their belief systems that they can't believe these other things. So like the
They're
Zios
true.
wanna,
I believe
yeah.
there are some true believers. Yes.
Yeah.
But I
There's a
believe
lot.
I believe some of them are also using that as a cover to be in the club, and they and they're just psychos that enjoy eating babies, right?
Yep, totally. And Aardvark Land, you can say the same thing of. But it is interesting, this guy is just so everywhere. It would be interesting
His
to
YouTube
know.
channel, Predictive History, has 2.15 million subscribers, and this guy just barely came on the scene. What, a couple months ago, right?
Well, I mean, he's been doing videos for years, but I mean, I'm sure he's at least doubled since the war broke out, because he predicted the war before, and he predicted that Trump would get elected, that he would start this war, and that we would lose. So that's why he's become so famous over the last month or so, because like, oh wow, he's really nailing these things, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's interesting. It's something to study. It's something to talk about, because he's literally in the past 2 weeks been on everybody from Tucker to Jimmy to Piers to Redacted to, I mean, he is literally hit. He's got to be doing Alex Jones here soon, because he's done everybody else.
That's what makes me say he's an op, because they don't push
for sure.
They don't push people like this unless they are an op.
No, yeah, totally. There's got to be.
There's something else going on with this guy.
I'm studying it. I am studying it. So I wanted to like throw it out there, get it out there, ahead of time, and lay out, the 4 major things I found about like his belief system, the anti-God, anti-math, anti-science, anti-capitalism, all very Chinese sort of things, except for the anti-science and math part. But people who aren't good at math, just they think math is stupid, and so he's taken it all the way to saying that people who study math are stupid, because math has no practical purpose in the real world. So I think maybe he's just trying to I think maybe the op is red pilling people. It's part of the bragging, but also he's trying to it's part of the demoralization, right? Okay, the world, this is how the world is run, and math is stupid, and there is no God, and your capitalism sucks, and I'm super right because I told you Trump was bad and he would start this war, so you should also not believe in God, and also not believe, you know what I mean? So I think it might be something along that sort of a line, I'll let you know. I'm studying. It's a good, but just, he's so popular right now. Everybody should be aware that you should probably take it with a little grain of salt, because like you said, there's a reason he's popular. I mean, there's a reason that they're letting him be popular if they're, so I think it's just part of the demoralization and stuff. So I don't know. Have you heard of him before? No, I know you don't watch a lot.
We played a clip from that Simon had sent me like 2 weeks ago of him, and his analysis is spot on. I mean, I don't disagree, but I'm saying there's a reason why they're pumping him all over the quote alternative, whatever you want to call it, the media,
even the mainstream. Yeah.
Let's close out today with this, and then we'll go to the channels and get some comments. But here you go. Here is our foreign policies to bomb you, and fitting into this week of death and destruction coming out of the Department of War.
Our campaign that we conducted, that Israel's conducted alongside us, was one for the history books, truly. And it's because we have a president of the United States that when he sends his warfighters out to fight, he unties their hands to actually go out and close with and destroy the enemy as viciously as possible from moment one. And that's why we see ourselves as part of this negotiation as well. We negotiate with bombs. You have
Grok did quote you that our foreign policy is to bomb you, and he had another quote from you. It had another quote from you that I'm forgetting right now, but it's a good one. But yeah, our foreign policy is to bomb you. So, what you gonna do about it?
Amazing where we're at here. Okay, let's go to. Well, let me pull up this to give a body count, a death count, as horrific as it is. I want to give an update. This, according to Al Jazeera, the latest death count here, as is the thumbnail for the show today. And again, they're adding to the list as we speak. But we take a look at this. Since the beginning of the Iran war, February 28th through today, you can see 10:30 GMT time there. So the most update official data that we have. Let's run through it. Lebanon, 1,116 killed. Palestine, they're still stacking the bodies there. The genocide continues. 4 killed. Syria, 4 killed. Aardvark land, I believe it's a lot higher than that. Again, these are the official numbers from the government. 19 killed. Jordan, 28 injured. Kuwait, 6 killed. Iraq, 96 killed. Iran, 1,937 killed. Bahrain, 3 killed. We just talked about how they're hitting Bahrain right now, then maybe adding to that list. Qatar, 16 injured. UAE, 11 killed. Oman, 3 killed. Saudi Arabia, 2 killed. And U.S. military, 13 killed and 200 injured. According to the official numbers, I believe it's a lot worse than that, Snarky Guy.
Can you go back to that real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you look down by Qatar, or actually by UAE, is sort of the entrance. So we're looking in the lower right and up to, that's the entrance to the Strait of Hormuz there. Sam's mousing over. And if we go in with ground operations, in the medium term, Qatar, just to the left of Sam's arrow, and Bahrain, and then down at the bottom, Oman, those 3 countries are likely to switch over to the Iranian side. And that would really put a pinch on the UAE, as well as any operations we may have if we're trying to go in there and we have things going on the shoreline or in the islands, and then these 3 countries switch over. We're going to be basically trapped and pinned from both sides, right? And
okay, and you got Yemen today down here, right? Yemen down here saying, "Hey, our finger is on the trigger right now. Let's see you try to drive through the Red Sea." And,
right.
You know what I mean? And so both sides right here, and Yemen saying, "Try me." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, damn, dude, it's not. Don't send in the ground troops.
Yeah.
Department of War, don't do it. Don't do
it. It'll have such drastic ramifications for the entire planet, and it'll be a disaster for us. But it's gonna happen, and it is more than likely part of the plan, right? We're complying with being taken off of the throne at the top. Not us personally, but
Zog is, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the channels here. Let's pray for peace. Let's go to Odysee. Check out the chat. We had Deep, Gurr, John, Huffman. Thank you guys for tuning in on the Odysee and chatting it up. Let's see if we can pull any insightful comments out here. Let's see. John's always insightful on his comments. So is everyone else. Let's see. What is shocking in America is how effective the brainwashing has been transmitted via our media. I turned on the car radio and got a country station with a Christian pastor talking about how Iran has attacked America and Americans and all her neighbors for 40 years. Well, yeah, we've been at war for, Condoleezza Rice told us we've been at war with Iran for 47 years. We played that clip. The level of propaganda is amazing. I agree. The helium is for the satellites, John said. What do you think of that, Snarky? Is the helium for the satellites?
That's why I brought NASA up.
Good connection there. The weather balloons are keeping us safe.
Right. Yeah, I do believe that most satellites are on balloons for sure. There are probably some that use ion drives, like your shoebox sats. Probably can use ion drives where they pass ionized water, or they pass water through like little electrical charges, and the separation of the hydrogen from the oxygen molecule creates thrust, and so they can kind of be up there for a while. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely. I've seen lots of satellite balloon launches, so maybe
John,
that's just how they used to get them up there.
Yeah, it's all for our own safety. We shouldn't question it. John said all part of WEF, UN, City of London plan, fuel rationing, then food rationing, then water, the end of air travel for us peons, and the end of private car ownership, home ownership. They plan to steal it all, and they made it legal. Read The Great Taking.
The Great Taking. Yeah, also watch Ice Age Farmers report called Absolute Slavery, and they cover a plan for 2050 in there where all international travel and shipping and everything comes to a 0 point pretty much. And I think that plan was actually supposed to be, I think 2050 was code for 2025, and they're running late on it, so maybe coming up here pretty quick. But there's a comment also here on the Rumble from Hempcar, a little super chat for $1. Cuba, the last place to not use mRNA. Iran, the last place to ban Freemasonry. Both not part of the IMF WEF. Trump's taking out deep state NWO by letting them take over the globe. I think that is sarcasm. So I think he's saying, yeah, you know what I mean? Like he's taking out the deep state by letting them conquer the planet.
Could work. That could work. We got a super chat.
Yeah, that was Hempcar.
$1? Well, thank you, Hempcar. Thank you for noticing that. I didn't even notice it.
Okay. Don't be noticing. Don't be noticing.
I know. Don't be antiseptic. Let's see. Deep on the Odysee said those Boeing 747s that weren't designed to carry another aircraft half their size on them to taxi them around, the country must have somehow given them away. I'm up.
That's the airplane they used to take the space shuttle around. Remember, I think
I'll upload some fake spacecraft tonight. He says I filmed in Houston a couple of years ago. Also stupid. Well, thanks, Deep. Tag me in it or something so I can see it. I guess I'll go to your. We may play that on the show and say, look, this is why we should just unlimited funding to NASA so they can continue the scams and we can feel good about never going to the moon. It'll be wonderful. Let's see. Chatting back and forth. What does Huffman say? 10,000 more on the way. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Insane in the Bahrain from Huffman. Thank you, guys. It is insane in the Bahrain right now.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say Denver. I think has a pretty good point. Is that Jiang is a walking, talking agitprop. Agitprop is a basically like a communist propaganda piece tool.
Like you're saying, trying to convince us that math and science, that's stupid, and and your religion is stupid, and go ahead and follow the Chinese model for success. You see?
Yeah. And he probably lives in like a 60-floor skyscraper that could not have been built without math.
Well, it's with as corrupt as America here is now. It's easy pickings. So
That's
I'm
true.
glad it's easy pickings for the Chinese propagandists. And so, honestly, can you blame them at this point? Man, oh man, we're in a world of hurt. Okay, thank you guys for tuning in on Odysee. Thank you for tuning in on X, Kick, Twitch, Bitchute, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Let's go over here. I can see on the side. We'll just go up a little bit. Let's see. ZO, thank you for tuning in on the Rumble. Carrie, thank you for tuning in there. Denver. What was Denver? Denver had a couple good comments. He usually has some good ones. Mac on the YouTube. Thank you, Mac, for tuning in there. Who bribes with gold bars? He said about Santos, and because remember that was Menendez got busted with gold bars. Remember that?
Egyptians do. I mean, who else?
Old school gangsters apparently do.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was doing the old school gangster thing and got caught with gold bars at his house, right? And so very surprising. He pissed somebody off because, like, why did they go after him?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's when they were in power too, right?
Mm-hmm. That's when Democrats were in power, and old New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez pissed somebody off because he got out of the last one. Remember, there was another one even before that about sex trafficking, girls, all corruption, on and on it goes. And it's like he snaked his way out of that one. They hit him with another one. Every member of your Congress, investigate them. They're all guilty as sin.
Right. Yeah.
Every single one of them. Let's see. Denver said starving people to death is kind of a kink for the Zionists. It's dark. That's very dark, but yeah, it looks like it is. They're getting off on it. They're doing genocide tourism, for God's sake. I mean,
yeah, that goes back to the they're trying to prove that they have the cojones to be the new enforcers. So they're brainwashing.
We're more evil than evil, right? They're saying we're more evil than even the United States. We know that allegedly they blew up Japan with the A-bomb, but watch what we'll do. We're evil, blow up and kill even more people than the United States did during World War II attack on Japan.
Right. Yeah. That's it. And that's why they're trying to that's why they're brainwashing their entire society to be so violent and self-centered, because that will help them, prove to the powers that be that they got what it takes. So
now they're more evil than evil. Bob said Snarky's right. Fox uses women and a certain EQ to get them witches in your brain. Damn. They're freaking using these signals to freaking put spells on us, these evil bastards. So, hey, Snarky, you're not paranoid if they really are out to get you.
That's right.
Oh, man. Denver said Daiquat. That's the one, 100 times more toxic than glyphosate. Yeah. Freaking ridiculous. Let's see. Stalin was my guy. Sam, this is Fat Bob. He says Stalin was my guy. Their 1945 victory parade was pretty sloppy. We wear them all out parading about it. What they say? ZO throwing up the 33s here. Some Illuminati calms. 33% gas price increase, $3 to $4. Throwing up the 33s, indeed. Let's see. Denver said bullshit.
So I've got a theory. I've got kind of a theory on that, right? Because these patterns, the 33 here, all the numerology, all these like little patterns that tie these occultists together.
Mm-hmm.
These patterns run back so far and so deep through history. There's so much continuity to it.
It's part of the code of the Matrix, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Is that I don't think it can literally be strictly human. I don't think it's all intentional, right? You know what I mean? Like all of these like things that happen 666 days after something else, and all that. There's too much continuity through history for it to be like humans like doing this, through thousands of years. So that tells me that it is either some, immortal lizard people or Satan or aliens, whatever it is. There's something with a much, much longer horizon than we have, and it's mystical. You know what I mean? Because these things it's undeniable that these patterns happen, but they're span such a long and continual history that it's got to be something with a greater lifespan than humans. I don't know.
Denver says Bolsheviks love starving millions of people
They
to
do.
death. It's kind of their thing. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
It was unprovoked, you see. Damn. Let's see. My old memory. Yeah, they're talking about, the price of everything's going to go up. ZO on the, all your tech everything's going to go up.
And disappear. If it's not like truly, this isn't going to be if you can afford it. It's going to be if you can find it.
If you can find it,
6 to 12 months.
And old car parts. I've seen a bunch of reports. They stopped even making these even knockoff. Like say I don't know, just off the top of my head, a freaking starter for a '78 Oldsmobile. You know what I mean?
Right.
They used to refurbish them. Refit them, the old ones, and now spin-off knockoff models are going out of production. So you're, like you said, you're not even going to be able to find the part here now.
Yeah.
As they're turning the screws on the supply chain.
You may also not be able to find produce that isn't from a very like a regional produce. So your papayas and your pomegranate juice and your
the New World Order is over.
Avocados. Yes, it is. Yeah, globalism is everything.
Globalization is over. What we knew for the last since World War II is over. We've reported extensively, and they've extensively announced it. That is the powers that be in this world, that the post World War II New World Order is over. We're in a new World Order in a new era.
And so anything that comes from overseas, you better get it while you can find it, because that shit is going to disappear.
Snow said, "Stop tricking me." I'm telling you, they're constantly trying to trick us. Stop tricking us. Damn, man. Tired of being tricked by these maniacs. Let's see. That was on the YouTube. Car. I think they are joking there. Technate incoming, Snow said on the YouTube. Yeah.
Yep. Bingo.
Indeed. Let's see. The America of the Long Walk movie is becoming a documentary.
I see it.
I think it might be repeated. They're talking about this documentary. You better go look at that. He shows text about graphene creating new life forms, the phones going under the skin, and all this being done woo consent. But I can't find the link. Let's see. Snow said they just covered that on the Bibby thing. Yeah. So can Tucker successfully pin all the evil of the Zog on Bibby? I don't know. It looks like that's one operation they're trying to spin here now, and leave Bibby hung out to dry to be the fall guy on this thing. There's multiple factions.
This is what happens when the system implodes, right? Is everybody starts eating each other. It's the Ouroboros, man. We are run by the Ouroboros society,
Well, they say ZO said the box of cigars came packed in a shipping crate large enough to live and protected by billions of dollars in cash. My guess. Yeah, well, it was just a cigar. Come on. He's not corrupt at all. If you intentionally bankrupt the country with complex, oversized armaments, you are not serving America. You are serving the global security state, Denver said. Yeah. Serving the war profiteers. Chatting amongst themselves. Thank you guys for tuning in there. Barto on the Rumble as well here. Let's see. That's about it, guys. on this Friday. Thank you for joining us, Snarky. Any final thoughts before we sign off this Friday broadcast?
Prepare, learn, get your shit together, man. Energy, heat, food storage, ability to clean and drink water. This one's the real deal. You know what I mean? Everybody should be well practiced up from the scamdemic. It's time. This is go time. And it doesn't even matter what happens now, because the train is off of the rails. These things have happened. The recovery time for what has already happened is super long.
And we haven't even seen the impact yet.
No, yeah. And we don't even know what further shocks down the road are. But they have kicked this off, and it's we are in a new world. And so when you walk through the store and you see all that shit on the shelves tomorrow or whenever, you better appreciate it. Because it's not going to be like that much longer.
I hear you. We may not be living in the lap of luxury over here in America very much longer here, as they're turning the screws on everything, especially the global energy supply chain, literally blowing up the global energy infrastructure as we speak. Deep on the Odysee said the geometry and numerology mystery schools go well beyond the Mason Jesuits and Hermetic principles of the Kabbalion. Cannot be just old order, something paranormal for sure.
That was an amazingly insightful comment.
I was speaking to what you were saying about there's something going on linking all this together. Indeed.
Yep, that was a good comment.
Indeed. Let's see. Hemcar said scientists mimicking the Big Bang accidentally turned lead into gold. The Independent. I think I did see that article, but there was something about it. There was something weird about it. Anyway.
Or they shifted our reality and landed us square in Clown World.
And with that, let's pray for peace. As always, everybody do your own research. Peace, love, and freedom. Speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your Friday evening. Have a great weekend, and we'll be back here on Monday for more Weaponized News. Thank you, Snarky Guy, for joining us.